Welcome to the Enhancement Talent Podcast.
Any man with 2 hands has a fighting chance.
You're only half the man that I am, and I have half the brain that you do.
What?
You are a sniveling little suck-up sellout full of suffering succotash, son.
What?
I'm not burning with you.
Give me a hell yeah.
We are back and better than ever. Welcome to the Enhancement Talent Podcast, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. We appreciate you stopping by. I am your host, Brock Fluker, and I am joined by Chris Kirby.
The one and only.
Who needs... Are you Ricochet now?
Why?
You said you're the one and only.
Oh.
That's gimmick infringement, brother.
Well, I mean, if I go with WWE, everything's already copyrighted. So, I mean, even if I say the word "the," I gotta pay them to say it. They probably got the dictionary copyrighted.
Yeah. They're ready to send you a cease and desist as we speak.
That's okay.
So, we have a pay-per-view to get to. We have... We're not going to do the full review for Raw and SmackDown. We're just going to go over some Cliff Note happenings.
Yeah, well, I mean, there wasn't much that happened on either show. I mean, this week it was more like Monday Night Blah. There just wasn't anything of substantial.
And I just didn't really have time to watch the whole thing on either show. So,
Oh, please, I know your work schedule. You did too.
well, I didn't want to.
Okay.
But we have a 4-hour some pay-per-view to go
3
through.
hours and like 38 minutes.
Yeah.
Plus the pre-show.
Yeah, which only had one match.
Yeah.
Even though it was supposed to have the Cruiserweight match, but
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I know what happened with that.
They
totally
just
bumped it.
they just decided to put it on the main card.
Yeah. Which is weird.
Yeah, that was strange.
Especially for those DB and Rowan and the Usos to be relegated to pre-show.
Yeah, that especially.
That's what is a big question mark to me. Why
Yeah.
are they on the pre-show?
Daniel Bryan being on the pre-show.
Yeah, and the Usos, really.
Daniel Bryan being pinned on the pre-show.
Yeah. Now, as we're getting going, and obviously we're moving into the first match,
Yeah,
why am I seeing advertisements for Money in the Bank during the pre-show match? When I'm
because
watching it, I know Money in the Bank's tonight because I'm watching the pre-show.
yeah, well, there is a reason for that.
Explain it.
Because, and it's something I wish they'd do differently, is that the pre-show is broadcasted to more than just the WWE Network. It's on YouTube and wherever else they put it,
Yeah.
and it's being shown to people that don't have the network, and so they play those ads to get you to get to the network when the show actually starts.
But you're watching the pre-show. You made the decision to sit down and watch this pre-show for the pay-per-view. You know the pay-per-view is after. And you know what's on the network if you're watching the pre-show. Just because it's every pay-per-view. I just don't understand why I'm seeing not one, but 2 ads for Money in the Bank during this one match.
Yeah. And I think what they should do is just have 2 different feeds. Is that you have one feed that is for the network, that you don't air those.
Yeah.
And then you have a separate feed for your YouTube stuff or wherever else they put it.
Yeah.
That then you can get the advertisement in for the people that don't already have the network.
I mean, I just don't understand why I'm watching commercials for a pay-per-view I'm watching the pre-show for.
Yeah. Well,
It just makes no sense to me.
yeah. That's the basis of the pre-show, is just running those packages.
That's like watching your football teams warm up and then getting a commercial saying, hey, there's a game today. It's the same thing.
Yeah, so the lone pre-show match was the Usos defeating the SmackDown Tag Champions, Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan.
In a non-title match.
Yes, in a non-title match.
Which I'm guessing that's why they won, because it was non-title.
Yep. I should have known that when we were doing our predictions. That
Who do we choose on that?
we both went Brian and Rowan.
Oh, okay.
But it being non-title.
Yeah, we had that discussion too last week.
Yeah, but I was thinking logically, my mistake.
Yeah.
That you'd want to keep the champions strong. But yeah,
Well, they can't do that if they're on the pre-show. No matter what title you got.
I mean they could at least win.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's very it's strange that Brian was the one to take the pin too.
Yeah. I mean, I would expect a DQ or Rowan to take a pin.
Yeah,
But-
with Brian just coming down from the WWE title reign into this, it seems like you'd want to protect him, but I don't know.
Well, they gave him the title, the tag titles. I mean, what more is to protect? You know.
Yeah,
They had him drop the fake title for the tag titles.
and this whole match was filled with Corey Graves being all of us and wondering, oh well, if the Usos win, then they're in line for a SmackDown tag title match, and they're not even on SmackDown. This is anarchy.
It's egregious.
Exactly.
Even though he doesn't say that anymore.
Not as much.
But it doesn't make sense why you'd have Raw going towards SmackDown titles. Even yeah, they've got the wild card rule, but
Because I'm a genius, pal.
But does it say in there that anybody from the wild card rule can just come in and challenge a champion?
It doesn't say anything.
I mean, exactly.
It says a select number of
4 people
superstars.
can go from one show to the other a week.
Yes.
But yet, can they challenge for titles? And if they win, do they have to stay on that?
Well, I mean, the Usos challenged for the titles the week prior.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost, but
I mean, could they win the titles? That's what I'm curious. And if they did, would they have to remain on that brand?
who the hell knows? They're making this shit up as they go.
And it's not very good. I've seen 5-year-olds write better stories than this.
Yeah. So, get to the main show. It starts with the women's Money in the Bank match, which I accurately predicted.
Yeah.
I will say that Chris did win the predictions this time. He won by 1 point.
Better than a half a point.
Yeah. No, the half a point didn't even come into play at all.
Really?
I mean, considering who won both matches, we had no way of predicting one.
Oh, yeah.
And
They kept that under a tight seal.
yeah, very tight. And I'll get to that when we cover that match. And this match, the women's Money in the Bank, Bayley was originally my backup, but when they inserted Nikki Cross, I went to Cross as my backup.
Yeah.
Which ultimately it wouldn't have made a difference. I would have still lost by half a point.
That would have been more of a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Just half a point.
But getting into the whole deal with this, early on, very strange deal where Carmella ends up being assisted to the back with an ankle injury.
Knee.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was weird how it played out because Mandy and Carmella were just fighting over the ladder.
Yeah.
And it looked like the ladder kind of like fell onto Carmella's foot and then she like tripped on it or something or twisted her ankle on it. And Mandy is going to continue fighting her. But Carmella just says, no, stop. And she backs to the ropes, and she just continues going, no, stop.
And pushing Mandy away. Just pushing, not like shoving, but just a push.
And
the look on Mandy's face told me that wasn't supposed to happen.
Well, the way that I can't agree there. Like, I think that the way they did this and the way they did it when she came back and that this match didn't fall apart tells me that it probably was what they were planning on doing.
Well, I mean, it could be. It's just, I don't know, the way her face, the face she was making made me think that, yeah, it may have supposed to happen, but maybe not quite like that. Maybe, maybe she was supposed to throw her out of the ring or something. I don't know. Her face just told me a different story.
Yeah, I have no idea. But Either way.
Did you notice how many baby faces were in this match? The
The
majority.
Carmella, Bailey, Ember Moon,
Naomi.
Naomi.
Who else was in it?
I don't know if Nikki Cross is a face.
Yeah, I don't know. I consider her one, but then again, I don't.
Then who else? Mandy. I can't remember.
I know, we're missing two.
Oh well. I'm sure we have it written down here somewhere.
Natty.
But, yeah, Natalia. And
There's one.
yeah, Natalia's a face, so.
But there's like five out of eight faces.
Yeah, so we during this there was some Naomi as a Matrix super athlete I have written, where she's splitting to avoid ladders and jumping on ladders and that are held by other people and jumping from one to another. And
she's the black female Jeff Hardy. She's Jeff Hardy, just opposite form.
Yeah, Matrix.
Yeah,
is what she was doing in this one.
She does a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah,
I have to agree with Renee and say that I agree she is probably one of the most athletic females.
Yeah,
I will not say between men and women, but with the females, she's probably the most athletic.
Yeah, definitely. All those spots are just too stagey for me, though.
Yeah,
they just look ridiculous.
Well,
I mean, they're impressive, but
what gets me is, and it happens every ladder match, that one person will get their finisher on somebody, then somebody else comes in and gets their finisher on them, then somebody else gets it on them.
That happens in tag matches a lot, too.
Yeah, but it happens in every ladder match.
Yes.
Every one. And it's just like, okay, so we're at this point of the match, everyone's going to do their finishers, and the first one that got the finisher is going to get back on his feet by the time the last one does.
Or if it's a Randy Orton match,
everyone gets an RKO.
Feed into the RKOs.
Yeah. Which was awesome.
So, Mandy is in the middle of the ring with nothing stopping her. But Carmella gingerly walks back out, and Mandy stupidly runs after her.
And why does it take 5 minutes for her to set the ladder up? It's a ladder. It took her like 5 minutes to set it up.
Probably because she was waiting for Carmella to come out.
Carmella, I can only get this under this briefcase so much.
Do you remember the spot in the Eddie Guerrero and Rey ladder match, the custody on a pole match? Where
oh god, I remember the match.
But there was a spot where Eddie climbs to the ladder, and Vicky Guerrero is supposed to come out and push him off or whatever, but she never comes out, and so he's just standing there at the top of the ladder, and I think he just makes it look like he tries to grab it and falls off, and like he's just like screaming like, "Where's Vicky?"
Oh my god. I don't remember that. I remember the match. I just don't remember that part.
Yeah. Well, there was what's the famous WCW one where the guy missed his cue on it was a Hogan match. Where it was a whole big deal. I think it was Papa Shango that he's supposed to come out.
Papa Shango wasn't WCW though.
Who was it then?
Papa Shango was WWF.
I thought it was, though. I don't know. Either way.
Because Papa Shango's the Godfather.
Yeah.
I've never seen him at WCW.
I'm trying to remember it. I think it was Hogan and Sting.
That could be.
But someone was supposed to come in and break up a pin, and they never came down. And then it just showed like him running in at the ramp after like the kick out already happened because nobody broke up the pin.
Oh wow.
So after that, Sonya takes out Carmella, and she literally carries Mandy on her back up the ladder.
At least, well, about halfway up it, yeah.
And she puts her up there, and
I think we all thought right then and there, she was going to win.
Yeah, I thought that was the finish, but
I even started writing Mandy won.
yeah, and I don't know why Sonya just didn't do what Ellsworth did and just climb up the ladder and drop it down to her.
The way she kept looking up, I thought, okay, she's going to pull an Ellsworth, but at least she's a female, so it's okay.
Maybe she realized that when that happens, they redid the match, so she figured if she helps Mandy up there, then that'll help that.
Yeah, but if you follow history, the winner of the first one won the second one.
But out of nowhere, in comes Bayley up the other side, and she just gives them a death stare and pushes them both off simultaneously.
A little love tap, like, go.
And Bayley unhooks the briefcase and wins the match.
I was happy.
And I was happy to be wrong that I had Mandy winning, but happy that Bayley won. This would not be the last we'd see of Bayley. I'll get to that later. We had, completely forgot about this. Charlie Caruso comes in to do an in-ring interview with Bayley. Yeah. And she mentions Sasha Banks more than once. And she even says that she is still on Raw. And this whole thing came across to me as a troll job to Sasha Banks.
Yes, that's pretty much how I thought of it.
And I think they did this as a statement to her that this could have been you.
Yeah, because I bet if Sasha played the game and didn't have a little crybaby fit, she might have been in that match instead of Bayley, or instead of one of the other women, and she probably would have had a good shot at winning.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was something that was rumored that was what they were trying to get her to come back to, was winning that match. But I don't know. It was just a real troll job to me.
Now, if she's not going to come back, if they have her sit out the rest of her contract, and then
which they can make as long as they want,
and then they add that much time to her contract, she'll never be done with WWE.
No, and she won't be getting paid,
and she doesn't get paid.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know all of Sasha's motives either, and
yeah.
I can see what I see on TV in that she has. I mean, she's won titles and she won the tag titles, but it's never felt like she was made to be that big of a deal.
No, every time she had the women's title, she dropped it on the first defense. Every time. And tag titles, it was the second defense?
Yeah, something like that. And I'm sure, I mean, obviously there's a lot of people that work there that are frustrated.
Yeah. It's not just us, it's not just the wrestlers. It's, creative. Even the writers are. They're tired of having the shit change all the time.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's all on whatever Sasha wants to do. If she feels like she never wants to wrestle again, then keep doing what you're doing. But, I mean, if she wants to eventually go somewhere else, then sitting at home, I don't think that they're ever going to just release her.
Well, I mean, say she has a year left on her contract. They could add that year if she sat out that last year. They could add a year.
Yeah.
But after that, she'd be free to go.
Everything on her deal going forward is essentially frozen until she comes back. Like,
yeah.
You're putting it in the discretion of the company, and they can just do whatever they want.
And they pretty much do.
Yeah. We had Rey Mysterio against Samoa Joe. This is for the United States title. We had the match at WrestleMania that Joe won in quick order.
Yeah.
We then had a rematch on Raw that was a non-title match that Rey Mysterio won with a roll-up.
Yep.
And so this match basically ends with a roll-up. Somewhere in here, Samoa Joe, I don't know if he broke his nose or if it was just bloodied up, but
Yeah, it happened right at the beginning, too.
something got him good.
Yeah.
Apparently, Ray got injured in this match.
Supposedly.
And what it sounds like is that the finish was called on the fly. That they were just told to just go home early. From what I gather from other places, is that everything that went on during that match, they just cut it early. And so that rushed a finish, which I'm not sure if it is what they originally intended, if this was the planned finish and they just sped it up to get to this part earlier, or if this was something on the fly. But Ray gets Joe in a pin, but Joe's shoulder, I would say half of his back is off the mats as the ref counts 3.
It was a Ronda Rousey screw job.
Yeah, and this would start a trend of referee fuck-ups for the night.
Oh my god, yes.
And
there was, 3 or 4 for that night? And it kept on going Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, it was very strange. And Ray gets the win.
Joe's just astonished. He couldn't believe it.
Well, originally I wrote something like in all caps about like they did another roll-up finish, and I have to see Joe with this shocked look on his face again. like he's like the freaking shocked Pikachu face meme.
Yeah.
Like every time it gets rolled up, you just see that look.
But in this case, it was warranted. Because he's like, well, what the hell? I had my shoulder halfway up off the mat and half my back's up. And you still count.
This is another thing. Like, you remember the AJ Styles feud Joe had? They did the finish where Joe has the clutch and Styles rolls him up, but Styles taps out, but the ref didn't see it.
Yeah.
And they count the 3 on Joe. Like, I don't get what their thoughts are that they want to try to protect Joe with these finishes.
But it's not protecting anything.
But it's like doing a finish like this is something that you would think is like to build sympathy for a babyface.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what it is.
Or even a rematch at this week's pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's why there's no faces and heels anymore. Like, the heels get screwed over, the faces get screwed over.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
But, I mean, come on, this is happening to Joe a lot.
Yeah,
And,
Joe.
And I'm not saying it's not scripted that way, but it's getting to the point where if Joe's in a match, he's going to lose. And it's going to be a roll-up. And he's going to be shocked about it.
It'll be a roll-up or something convoluted.
Yeah, it'll be something that shouldn't have happened. And he'll be all surprised and
the shocked Pikachu face.
Yeah. Pikachu Joe.
Yeah, so nonetheless, though, Rey Mysterio is now the United States champion.
For now.
Dominic comes out and they celebrate, and then Samoa Joe runs back down. He beats the hell out of Rey, and Dominic is left to just sit there watching, and he did not do anything.
I was really because I'm thinking he's like 18 now.
I'm pretty sure he's older.
Well, I'm at least 18.
Because he's supposedly, the rumor is that he's already signed with WWE.
Oh, wow. I wouldn't be surprised.
And that they're doing this to introduce him. And I don't know what they'll do, if they'll do something with Joe and then he'll go to NXT or whatever. But
or maybe he's going to skip NXT.
Maybe.
I
mean, he
think
could.
So, but they don't do it very often anymore, but they could.
Yeah. I mean, the situations that they do, they've done it for guys like AJ Styles,
Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey.
Who had no wrestling experience.
Yeah, but that Dominic Mysterio is not going to draw the attention that Ronda Rousey did.
No, but being that his dad's been in the business all Dominic's life, he knows what to do and how to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, Ray has been in the forefront of Dominic's training. And
and with all the
setting him up with who he trusts.
and all the different movesets that Mysterio's done over the years, there's so much that he could teach Dominic before Dominic even went for a tryout.
Yeah. So this will I'm sure this will eventually lead to something with
2-on-1 handicap
Dominic
match.
and Joe, but
Maybe they can go for the tag titles. He's at least 18. He's not 10.
yeah, they end up teaming together. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Dominic ends up just like going with Joe instead.
Just screwing over Ray. And
Yeah, that would be a WWE thing to do.
But I mean, think about it. It would be kind of fun.
Yeah. So we had the Shane versus Miz match next, and to this point, I had been watching everything on this show live. This match was when I rage quit.
You rage quit.
Between the Ray and Joe match, which at the time I just hated that, but I guess I understand it more with what we know. But Shane versus Miz in a steel cage after Shane gets the fluke win at WrestleMania, where after a superplex off a hard cam stand, Shane just so happens to be on top of Miz.
Yeah.
And so for this match, he's in a steel cage with him. And for one, I did not think this match was any good. As far as steel cage matches go, I actually thought this was not at all good.
Yeah, I mean...
And a lot of it is because I can't get into Shane.
Yeah.
And I can't say that that's all of it, though, because I didn't think Miz was very good in this match either.
No, they played it on too long.
Yes.
They should have ended at Mania.
Miz did the worst frog splash I've ever seen in my life. It's Miz needs to, and in his Raw match too, I felt this way, is that he's trying too hard to be something he is not.
Yeah.
He's trying to wow people with these springboards and top rope moves.
And that's not him.
That he is not. He's just not that guy.
He needs to get with Kofi and go to the Performance Center and work on it. Or get with somebody who does it.
Well, you can just be yourself in a different light. Like,
well, I mean, everybody wants to add a new move here and there. So if that's what he's trying to do, he needs to work on it more before he does it.
I don't Miz doesn't need to be flying off the ropes.
It's like Ric Flair trying to fly off the ropes.
Yeah,
it don't need to happen.
There's plenty of guys that make a good living by not jumping off of anything.
You got Suicidal Seth.
Randy Orton, man, like the highest impact move he does is the superplex.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's just all technical. And he's one of the best at it.
Yeah.
Just perfect that rather than trying to add so many other things that you can't perfect anything.
Yeah, well, nothing's his own anyway. I mean, he steals all of his moves from other people.
Yeah. So Miz does a skull-crushing finale onto a chair, but Shane happens to get his foot on the ropes, which causes this whole controversy. And I believe we've talked about this rule.
We talked about it yesterday.
Yeah, but I think we've done it on a show before, but I can't remember what match it was for.
I don't remember.
But the deal is, and in this, it's no disqualification. How was there a rope break? And Cole was even screaming about this.
Yeah.
But the thing is that steel cage match, it is no disqualification. It is not a Falls Count Anywhere match, and a fall must occur inside the ring. And so when Shane gets his foot on the ropes, or underneath the ropes, or wherever outside of the ring, then it's not a pin because his whole body is not in the ring.
And that's where it got confusing for me, because I wasn't sure, because I thought like most people did. Especially you could hear them in the audience when they started booing.
Yeah, they said they chanted bullshit.
Yeah.
There were also chants of AEW during this match.
But I thought the same thing. You know, it's a no disqualification match. If you don't have to break the hold when they grab the rope, then the count should keep on going. But I mean, in a way, I mean, I can still see it that way.
Right.
But I see how you explained it too. It's a no DQ match, not a false count anywhere match.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see both.
Yeah, and it's WWE, so they could turn around and do the same thing, but the opposite way next week.
Wild card rule 2.0.
Mm-hmm, yeah. I do remember that this was a thing with it's actually where I learned this, was the Jericho and Omega match.
Mm.
Because the first one, when Jericho first went to New Japan. And it was a no disqualification match, and there was a spot where Jericho, I don't remember if he grabbed the rope or if he put his foot on the ropes, but there was a whole deal about that and why the pin stopped, and he explained it afterwards in the same way that I did, is that it's not technically a fall if you're outside of the ring, which is where the ropes separate that.
Yeah.
But nonetheless.
But you see, I'm glad you clarified it for me the other day, because I didn't know.
Yeah.
And
I mean, plenty of people have probably never heard of that.
I mean,
because there's not many situations where it comes up.
Yeah, I don't know of any other situation in WWE that's happened like that.
So, and this happens with all cage matches, but I never, for the life of me, understand why does no one ever just fucking walk out through the door?
I know.
Like, it's so easy.
You know how many times Miz could have just walked out the door when Shane was on his back?
Yeah, and they try to cover that up, like Corey was saying, like, well, there were many opportunities that Miz could have won, but he wanted to punish Shane.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, at least give Shane credit. He made an attempt, made it look like he was trying to go out the door.
Yeah, when he was crawling.
But did you see, and speaking of that, when Miz slammed the door on his head, you see how his head hit?
No.
It hit the solid bar on the frame of the door, not the mesh.
Yeah.
So, because you could hear it thud. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, so.
I listened to it a couple times.
So, Shane McSweaty Face, tries to escape by climbing over the top, and Miz climbs up after him. He tries to suplex him, and this is how I'm reading into the finish, is that because Shane was so sweaty, he was able to easily slip out of his shirt that Miz was holding on to.
You don't even have to go that far.
and drops to the ground to win the match.
It's just the fact that somebody's holding your shirt and gravity's pulling you down. All you got to do is just let go, and you're going. I hated the way it ended. I knew who was going to win because it was all Miz the whole match.
Right.
So you know, because it's all Miz, Shane's going to win.
Yeah.
We've talked about that, like with Roman matches.
Yes, all the time.
He takes all the punishment and then he comes back and wins at the last minute.
Yes.
So, to me, I didn't care for the match. Obviously, it wasn't very fun. But I knew who was going to win because there was no back and forth. It was all Miz.
So, here's where the rant is coming. Because I hated this so damn much. And I am so done with Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
And I should have seen this coming, because I should have seen Shane winning a mile away, because they even set it up that clearly Shane's next opponent is going to be Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
And so clearly, and I can guarantee you that this is the reason, this was the rationale given for why Shane is winning. Well, he's got to be strong. We got to keep him strong so that when Roman beats him, it means something.
And in their eyes, I could see that, because they think Roman's God and, well, he can do no wrong, so we got to make everybody look minuscule compared to him.
I am so damn tired of Shane McMahon. This man is 50 plus years old.
I'm tired of Roman Reigns, but that don't mean I'm going to get anything.
But there's a difference in those hatreds. Roman is a credible wrestler performer. Shane McMahon is a 50-year-old man with no training and really no business being in the ring, let alone beating anyone.
Well, I kind of have to disagree. Kind of.
Why?
Because he's been around this business for all 50 years of his life. He's got training.
But
it may not be at a school or at NXT, but he's got training.
Not enough. He
Now,
still doesn't know how to throw a damn punch.
He throws stiff punches. Yeah, he's not the only one, though.
He doesn't even throw a working punch.
Well,
he just
true.
throws a punch. And the whole deal is, like, anytime Shane was used previously, like in the 2000s going forward, he got his ass kicked.
Every time.
Every time. And, and he'd do something where he jumps off of something,
Off a cage,
or Steve Blackman would follow him up and hit him with the kendo stick, and he falls off the whole whatever stanchion wherever he was.
Yeah.
And that was his thing. He just got his ass kicked. But at some point in like the 9 years that he was gone, and then he came back, he just became like an actual wrestler out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to us. Like, his first match back, he was against The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And competing. And, you go forward. He had a competitive match with AJ Styles at WrestleMania that year. He had the Hell in a Cell match with Kevin Owens. And it's just, there's so many, and this is the main thing that bugs me, is that the amount of talented guys that they could plug into this spot.
Yeah.
And, God forbid, get them over and get them more experience in these sorts of matches. It is used on Shane.
I mean, I know for a fact, since there's no titles on the line, that Miz probably would have been happy to put over a new person in that match. Just because, he's putting somebody over. Miz is established.
Yes.
He's an A-lister when it comes to wrestling. He's an A wrestler. He has no problems putting other people over. He's done it.
Right.
And that's what he should have done here, is put somebody over that needed it.
Right, not Shane.
Not some 50-year-old that, really has no business being out there because nobody wants to see him out there.
And that's the other baffling part of this from Miz's perspective. We just turned this guy face. We just turned him face.
Yeah.
And this is his first feud is with Shane, the guy who turned on him, the guy who punched his dad and broke his ribs and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And Miz has yet to get his receipts. He has lost 2 matches to this guy.
Yep.
And he just looks like a loser.
It's definitely a feud that needs to be killed now and move on. And obviously, I don't see that happening because, like we've seen,
yeah, it seems like they still want that Miz at least still wants another match.
Well, you figure McIntyre and Shane are now teamed up, and then Roman's involved with Shane, Miz is involved with Shane. So
yeah, Shane has like this orbit, like a gravitational pull.
Yeah,
that he's just sucking everything into him.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know how Drew McIntyre ended up there, but I'm gonna rant about that on Raw too.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious how he ended up there, and Elias is pretty much out of the picture.
Yeah, so we'll try to move on. After this match was when I turned off the show, and
okay.
Then I came back the next day and watched it to see.
And it was still bad.
We had the Becky and Lacey Evans match.
We had the Nice and Daivari match.
Was that? That's why, because I didn't watch it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even watch that match.
I've got great notes on it. There was nothing fantastic, and Tony Nese won.
Was it a premiere? Tony Nese is the premier athlete. Was there anything premier in this match?
There wasn't even anything preemie about this match.
I mean, I heard the crowd was dead for it.
The crowd was dead for a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they just weren't a lively crowd that night. Now,
Yeah, I mean, they definitely woke up in, like, the big points.
well, the big points, yeah, but they popped when you were expecting the pop.
Right.
But they did not pop any other time throughout the night. And it's kind of weird because, I mean, they always get pops here and there.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't happening.
Right.
But, I mean, look at the card. It wasn't that great of a card. The matches weren't all that great. So, I mean, I'd be kind of bummed, too.
Yeah. So, after this is where we got the Becky Lacey Evans match for the Raw Women's title. The first of 2 Becky matches.
Yeah.
And it was through this cycle that Chris beat me in the predictions. Everything to do with Becky was where I went wrong.
Which is funny because Becky's like your girl.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, it used to be, you root Becky all the time.
Yeah. Well, I think they've kind of cooled her off.
They have a little bit, which is fine because I'm not gonna say she was too hot, but it's not hurting her any.
Yeah, I mean, she has all the credibility she needs.
Now that she's down to, well, I guess we can't go there yet.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute, but
keep forgetting.
So
on Sunday.
This was where they did another screwy ref thing, where the ref didn't count while Lacey had a roll up on Becky.
And they counted. I think
Graves counted on the replay,
like 3 or 4 on the replay.
Yeah, and so Becky turns the schoolboy pin into a disarmer, and Lacey tapped out
like instantly.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense. Why did he take the long way around when he could have just hopped over Lacey to see the shoulders of Becky?
The ref, yeah.
He went the long way around instead of moving 2 inches this way.
I don't know.
I mean, I could be a ref. Ray Charles could be a ref. You don't have to see shit that goes on.
Yeah. So I don't have a lot of notes from this match, but there was one thing that I noted is that Lacey Evans' finisher is the women's right?
Yes.
So if your finisher is going to be a punch, you should not use a punch at any point other than the finish.
Yeah.
Or as a near fall or whatever.
Big Show, when he was using his punch, he didn't really use a punch any other time.
Yeah. There were a couple times where I saw Lacey doing the whole punch.
So now, now every time she threw a punch, did Becky go, "Oh, is that it?" No. Okay. Next one comes. "Oh, was that it?" No. Okay. Next one comes. "Was that it?" Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. I mean,
it's like when Ryback used like the meat hook clothesline. Like if he would have just used a clothesline and a regular comeback, it wouldn't have made sense.
Well, it's no different than JBL's clothesline from hell.
Yeah, same thing. He has to not use that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why it's hard to use a basic move like that as a finish.
Yeah, it is.
Just because
like AJ's forearm.
Yeah, but his
is so
very
much throughout
different.
the match.
Yeah, but he uses a standing forearm.
Standing forearm, the springboard forearm, off the top or off the rope to the outside forearm.
Yeah.
And none of it's a finisher until he does the springboard over the top in the ring. That's when it's a finisher.
Yeah, but there's differences.
Different clotheslines, too.
Yeah,
I have well into it.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
But, I mean, if you're going to do a simple move like an elbow, then you don't use an elbow during the match.
Yeah. So, immediately after this match, Charlotte comes out. I thought Charlotte was fucking hilarious here. I very much enjoyed her acting in this bit where she just confidently walks down to the ring and is just like, "No, we're gonna start the match now."
Yeah,
I enjoyed that. And Becky, being the tough ass she is, she has to protect that, and she's not going to back down from a fight. So even though they want you to believe that this match was supposed to be later,
well, that's what they told you.
Yeah, that will happen now.
And I even have that noted that they said it was supposed to happen later in the night.
Yeah, so then comes this match, and Charlotte ends up getting the win with some help from Lacey Evans, So Lacey punches Becky, but that's not when Charlotte gets the win, because then Becky rolls up Charlotte.
Yeah.
But Charlotte kicks out, and then it goes to a big boot, and Charlotte wins.
Yeah.
So the distraction did not make Becky lose.
No.
So
I'm not going to say the distraction made her lose, but it caused her to lose. Because if she wasn't laying on the flat on her back, then she would have been able to attack Charlotte. But I'm not saying that that the one punch to the face is what lost the match for her.
Yeah,
It was a contributing factor.
Well, you would think that they would go from the punch to the boots to the pin, but in the middle they had like a hope spot for Becky.
Yeah. And honestly, a boot? Really? Where's the figure eight?
Well,
where's natural selection?
Yeah, they could have used that.
Where's any of your finishers?
I don't mind that though. I actually like when someone gets a pin without using their finisher, because you have to, because when you get a pin without a finisher, it makes it more believable in a near fall that you might do with that move later.
Well, yeah, and I get that. I definitely get that.
Yeah, so that I would just say like the combination of Lacey's punch and then Charlotte's boots, I guess.
But I mean, I don't know. I just think a boot, really, that's
finisher though.
Well, I know, but that's the sad part.
It was Hulk Hogan's finisher too.
I'm not saying it was any better then. It was just played better then.
Different times.
Different times, exactly. This was before the internet.
Yeah.
After the internet, no leg drop should be a damn finishing move.
I feel like the Hulk Hogan's leg drop was still a joke even back then.
Well, it was.
To some people.
It was. But it was just, back then it was the aura of Hulk
was
Hogan.
Showmanship.
It was showmanship.
More than anything.
It's sportsmanship and putting on a show, not putting on a soap opera.
So, after this, we have Lacey and Charlotte go to beat up Becky some more. But Bayley runs in. She takes out everyone, and eventually Charlotte gets Bayley down, and she has a moment of hesitation between deciding to leave, but she instead decides to run after Bayley some more. But Bayley evades her and throws her head first into the middle turnbuckle, which you would have thought that Charlotte was shot.
You would think.
Because she was dead. She was laying here dead. And Bayley takes a moment and she decides that she's going to cash in on Charlotte. And so this is some more ref screwery.
I was going to say, here comes ref fuck up number 2.
I forgot about this one because the ref rings the bell with Charlotte flat on her back.
Never even got to
dead.
Her feet. Never even moved.
Still hasn't even moved.
I mean, she got pulled off the turnbuckle, and where she landed is when the bell rang.
Yeah, and for the record, they have done this in the past, like especially with the cash-ins. I actually just watched a video WWE put on their YouTube channel, every successful cash-in.
Now, when they cashed them in, were they already in a match? When they were cashed in?
No.
Because that would make sense why they wouldn't ring a bell if they're on the
match. The only one I can think of during a match was the Seth Rollins one.
Okay.
But all the other ones, like they're the Sheamus on Roman one, I think Roman was down, and there were other ones. Like it was a few out of there.
But it still doesn't make sense.
No, it shouldn't happen. I'm just saying that it has happened before.
Yeah, because they wouldn't start a normal match with somebody on the mat.
Yes.
No, you've got to be on your feet, at least holding the ropes, but on your feet.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this was just such a stupid mistake.
Yeah, it's a simple fix.
Yeah, and I understand it's not the first time, it's not the only time, it won't be the last time.
Yeah.
But it's so stupid how you're going to have two sets of rules for the same match.
I guess the argument you could make, though, is that the Money in the Bank contract guarantees you a match for the title at any time. So,
A match.
Yeah.
Which means it needs to be a proper match.
Yeah. It's just inconsistent. Yeah.
Very. So next week, that's going to be the problem, is Charlotte's going to be crying because she lost her title because the bell rang when she was on her back instead of on her feet.
Yeah.
Because, before that, she was crying because, Becky won her title but didn't beat her. See, if you notice, there's a bunch of crying coming from the Flair side.
Yeah. Except this time she actually has a legitimate reason.
Yeah, this time it is legitimate reason. I'll give you that much.
So my main takeaway from this, I'm happy that Bayley is getting something. I'm happy that she's won a championship, but there's so much to be desired in this, because I feel like the real money in Bayley is having her chase for the championship and build that up and build her up as the underdog babyface.
But we've already had that.
When?
Well, we had it with Daniel Bryan. We had it with Kofi.
It's not exclusive. It can work for other people.
No, I'm not saying it can't. It's just we just had it. Why do it right back to back?
Because that's what wrestling is.
No, it's storytelling. It's not story replicating.
Well, you can do it in different ways, but I mean, that's the basis of a wrestling storyline. At least it's supposed to be, is that you have a baby face, you have a heel, and then in the end, the good guy wins.
Back in my day, yes, you had a face and you had a heel. Nowadays, you've got two people.
It's just, I felt like there could have been a lot more build-up.
They really dropped the ball on this pay-per-view. Just overall.
Yeah, I mean, this was, one of 2 or 3 shining moments, just the whole Bayley thing.
Out of 100 moments, there's 2 or 3.
Yeah. But other than that...
this next stupid crap we got going.
Yeah, but I'll maintain my overall points that I would have liked to see Bayley been built up more before just...
I mean, it wouldn't have hurt, but that's the point of the briefcase.
WWE just wants to get their load off as soon as they can, they get straight to the finish, and sometimes in a good hand job, you need to build it up. So sometimes you don't go straight to the finish. Sometimes you need a tickle of the shaft or a fondling of the balls. you have to build up to it,
You're saying you want Bayley to tickle your balls?
That is not what that is not what I was trying to say.
No, but I forgot to throw that in there.
My computer is frozen. Okay, there we go.
It's okay. It's not missing much either.
I'm having trouble scrolling through my notes.
So
okay.
Move on to, I think it's Elias and Reigns.
So, for one, I very much laughed at this backstage bit, because Roman is walking to the ring in the backstage area, how they often show a wrestler walking in the backstage area to the ring before their match, and in the most goofy way possible, Elias is just tiptoeing behind him with the guitar in his hand.
Yeah,
this was Scooby-Doo villain levels of hilarious. I thought they were gonna put sound effects in the background for each step he took, just tip tip tap tip tap.
I was waiting for Friday the 13th theme song.
And of course he comes in, he smashes the guitar over Roman's back, and then he goes to the ring, and he goes to do a performance, and he has an electric guitar.
Yeah, which I'm guessing probably hurts more than a regular acoustic guitar, so he probably used the other one.
I did find it funny. He just said, oh, I'd use my other one, but it's broken. And he does his whole performance. He gets his song in, and then he says goodnight, and he just thinks that he's going to walk away and go home.
Yeah.
And he gets to the top of the ramp when Roman Reigns' music hits. He runs out and hits Elias with a Superman punch. He throws Elias into the ring. Elias gets to his feet. The bell rings.
Wait, when did the bell ring?
When Elias got to his feet.
Okay.
Yes. And Roman hits him with a spear and gets the win.
I'd like to know. I'd like to go back one of these days and maybe see if it's just one or two refs doing all the fuck-ups. Seeing how many referees are doing it, or if it's like all of them. It just makes me wonder.
Yeah.
Because obviously this was a different match, so it was a different referee than the last match.
Yeah.
So this referee knew what he was doing.
I think they're singling out one of them, like the one.
The one from Mania?
Yeah, the one from Mania, it seems like they've singled out a lot.
That's the one that keeps fucking up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised
at
if they have him
at
do
least
that.
some of them.
If they have him do it on purpose just because of that. Take that heat.
So, as far as this match...
Oh, is that what this was?
We did, like... This was expected for me to be 9 minutes of Elias chin locks and 1 minute of Roman Reigns comeback, a drive-by, an ooh-ah, and a spear. But instead, we just cut out all that other stuff and just got straight to the ooh-ah and the spear.
Yeah.
So, that was nice. I was actually happy that I didn't have to see this match.
Yeah, I was actually happy the way it ended because I didn't care about this damn match at all. I'm so over Elias.
And then they just did the match again on Tuesday.
Yeah. Guess what? I still didn't care.
Yeah.
24 hours is not going to make me care, I promise.
What about 48?
You'd have to give me 48.
Well, that's when it was. It was on SmackDown.
Oh, was it a true 48 or was it like 46? Just saying.
All right. So, up next, we had the only reason to watch this pay-per-view.
Not as good as I thought it'd be.
I thought that...
I'm not saying it was bad. Just thought it'd be better.
So, Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles we're talking about.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was clear that they were saving some things.
Yeah.
They didn't want to give it all away, but that's part of... That's one of the ways that I like matches like this. I like when two guys have a really good match, but by the end, you still think, oh, well, they could have a better match than that. But, because then it leaves you wanting more.
And yeah, it did leave me wanting more, but it left me wanting anything better. I'm not saying it was a bad match. I'm not.
I thought this was a really damn good match.
I mean, it was a good match, but not as good as I thought it could be or should have been. Because one, it's a pay-per-view. All your matches should be the match of the night. Every match.
So, I think it might be more that the overall pay-per-view, rather than this match, was affecting that. What you felt on this.
That could be. I still didn't think there was much to the match, because if there was, I would have actually took any notes besides not as good as I thought it'd be.
So,
maybe there wasn't enough action for me. I don't see how that's possible.
Yeah, there was. I feel like there was a lot here.
Yeah, there was. I don't know.
It was.
Maybe it's just the way it was strung together. I didn't like. I don't know.
Okay.
I just thought it should have been better. Or I thought it could have been better.
Well, this ended up being the longest match on the show, including the ladder matches,
which is crazy.
Which lost me what would have been the tying points if the men's ladder match was longer.
Oh,
and it was only by a few seconds.
But you know what? You know what that means? I still won by a few seconds.
Yes. So, like I have written here that they saved this pay-per-view from being a complete disaster. It was full of near falls. They did the reverse superplex into a reverse Falcon Arrow spot. And there was the spot of this match, and what really made me like it as much as I did was the spot where Rollins goes for the stomp, and AJ somehow transitions it immediately into a Styles clash. And if you would have explained this to me before it happened, I would have just been sitting there like, well, no, how would you do that? That doesn't make sense.
I had to rewatch it a couple times.
It was just like a seamless transition. Stomp, grab of the foot, and all before Rollins can even hit the ground or do anything, he's in the Styles clash.
Yeah.
And down to the ground for a near fall.
I like the way they did that. It was a lot like, I think it was Seth and Randy Orton.
Yeah, the RKO.
And he went up with the RKO, came back with the RKO.
Yes.
So it was a lot like that.
And a lot like that spot. Yes.
Just not the RKO, which made it better because there was more involved with the Styles clash.
Yeah.
So I loved how they did that part.
And that eventually it goes into the finish, being a ripcord knee by Seth, I think is what they call it. He hasn't used that move as much since he's gotten the stomp back.
But he hasn't used the pedigree either.
No. Ripcord knee into a super kick and then a curb stomp for the win. And Rollins celebrates, and Styles eventually comes back in the ring. Styles offers Rollins a handshake, and eventually Seth accepts his show of respect. I did like, you could hear AJ say, like...
You know how hard this is for me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Yeah, which I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
Especially after
because that's part of AJ's character, is that...
Well, that and the contract signing, think about it. He went to shake Rollins' hand and attacked him.
Right.
So it was easy for Rollins not to want to shake his hand.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I like how they did it.
Yeah. And hopefully we come back to this. It feels like Seth is going to get stuck in the Brock vortex.
Oh, yeah, which means he's going to lose.
Yeah, hopefully not, but hopefully we can get back to this at some point.
We'll find out. Was it next week? Next Friday?
Next Friday.
In Saudi Arabia? It's on a Friday.
I don't think it's... Is it next Friday?
I think it's next Friday.
I had no idea.
Like the second, I think.
Okay. So after this, I'll read my notes for this segment.
For what segment, Leon?
WTF are the Luchas doing out here?
I didn't even write it down. How about that?
Please stop. And, like, they came out and they say that this is going to be a 6-man tag. But I have no idea who the hell they were going to go against.
There was nobody else out there.
And the Luchas come out and they're cutting a promo, which I think was to establish that they're Mexican.
No.
I think that was the instructions they were told when they went out there.
I had no idea.
Is grab a mic and make sure everyone knows that you're Mexican. So then Lars Sullivan comes out.
So what they do? Ask if we need sheets.
Anyway, this is part of the irony, is that one of the many people that Lars singled on his former forum account post was Mexicans. So now he's going to beat up 3 Mexicans.
Which, didn't they do the same thing with Strowman when he first debuted by himself?
They did with Kalisto. I don't know if it was the whole deal at that point.
Okay, maybe it was. I thought it was maybe it was just jobbers that they hired. But where he'd go against 2 and 3 people at once.
Yeah, well, yeah, they did do that.
I mean, to me, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the default monster build.
Yeah, let's make him look so big and strong because he can't handle, his anxiety. So his feelings.
I am very concerned for Grand Metalik's health because, like, when Lars is still on the outside, like he goes to do the dive, Lars absolutely plants him into like the center of the earth on the ground.
It was bad.
And so Lars beats all of them up, and he gets Kalisto in the ring, and he does the headbutt, and that's when you notice that his head is busted open. Lars
it's like right up here, though.
Yeah. And I don't know if you saw that Kalisto took credits for busting Lars' head open.
I didn't see it. I figured it was one of them.
He tweeted with like a fist emoji and said, "Yeah, I did that," and it was, of course, later deleted.
Of course.
So I'm not sure if Lars headbutt himself open or if Kalisto did in fact punch him in the head and said, "Take that, you racist piece of shit."
Yeah.
And I don't know, but it was a cool visual for Lars, and he did the whole LESNAR thing where he wipes his blood on his chest.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I can't remember what match. I think it was an Undertaker match that Lesnar did that. He just...
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Just don't ask me when or where for what. I just remember.
It would look better for Lesnar, though, because his chest is all shaved, so...
Yeah.
You could see the blood.
Yeah. Now with Lars, all you do is stain his chest hair red.
After this, we had Kofi and Owens for the title.
I thought it was a pretty good match.
I thought it was fine. It was...
Typical. It's what I would expect.
It wasn't as good as Rollins and AJ, but it was a good pay-per-view match.
Yeah. I mean, for what it was, and for what pay-per-view it is,
Yeah.
it's what you can expect.
Yeah. Owens, for some reason, tried to take Kofi's shoe off.
Took both his shoes off.
Yeah, took his shoes off. I'm not sure why.
Not just one, but both of them, and threw them outside the ring.
I'm not sure if he was thinking that this would make the kick less effective.
I was thinking that, or maybe if he had a chance, he was going to step on his toes.
Yeah.
Hey, we've seen some crazy shit in WWE.
I don't know. It might be a fetish thing. I'm not sure.
You know, maybe you want to see what color socks he had on. Maybe make sure they were matched and not mixed matched. Maybe he got some OCD going on. I don't know.
Yeah, that was strange.
But that's no different than Alexa Bliss's shoe issues a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, there was a reason for that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, still, I mean, what is it? It worked for the females. Let's do it for the males. Let's take his shoes off.
Yeah, I don't have much else written than that.
Kofi wins with Trouble in Paradise.
Yeah, with no shoes.
Well, yeah, with no shoes. So he's the new shoe.
So clearly Owens' plan did not work.
Yeah. Well, you don't know what his plan was. Maybe he wasn't done.
Well, whatever it was, it didn't work. I have written here that they're starting to do the promos for the Super Showdown.
Yeah.
The Blood Money in the Bank.
I love it.
The Sweet Saudi Money 3. Whatever you want to call it. They are billing it as good or better than WrestleMania. Did you catch this?
No.
That's what the announcers are being forced to say during each of these Saudi Arabia packages. And if you notice, they still do not say Saudi Arabia.
No, it's Jeddah.
They just say Jeddah. You remember the first time? I don't remember if it was the first time or the second time they went there, but it was every time they did a package for it, it was the beautiful, progressive city of Jeddah.
I think that was the second time.
Yeah, and then all the stuff happens, and they backed away from that.
Yeah.
So, after this, we had the main event of the Money in the Bank men's ladder match. And this was a hell of a ladder match.
It wasn't bad. I'm not saying it was.
I thought this was one of the better ladder matches I've seen. It was a utter spot fest. There was so much action and
a lot of dangerous.
A lot of painful looking spots in this match.
Finn Balor's back.
Yeah, send a prayer for Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Andrade destroyed Finn, and this is the first thing I have noted, with a sunset flip powerbomb off the ladder. And they do the whole thing like they have the bridge ladder below it, that it's connected to a rung on the ladder and a rope.
Yeah.
And so Andrade does this powerbomb to Finn, and the part of the ladder that's connected to the other ladder, it falls down, but it's still connected to the rope.
Yeah.
So Finn literally bounces at least like a foot in the air off of this thing.
At least.
And off this power bomb, it was the coolest visual I think I've ever seen in a while, of just Finn just bouncing in the air off of this ladder.
Yeah, it is a little crazy.
Did you catch what the crowd chanted after this? They chanted "Yowie Wowie."
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
"Owie Wowie" would be a more fitting. Ali does a Spanish fly off the ladder to Andrade, and this is the point where Michael Cole just screams, "What is wrong with these people?" Michael Cole was adamant of how crazy these men were. And I understand how important this match is, but what is wrong with these people? Balor again took an unforgiving chokeslam onto the side of the ladder. It's on the ground, but it's on its side. So he's taking a chokeslam right onto the side of the ladder.
Yeah.
That looked like it sucked very much.
Yeah, for him.
And so then the next big bump, Ricochet took a bump from a throw to the outside of the ring on a bridged ladder, and he goes through the ladder on the outside, and
that looked painful too.
Yeah. And so we come to the end of this match as Ali has the ring cleared. He has the ladder set up. He climbs to the top. He's reaching for the briefcase. And out of nowhere, Brock Lesnar's music hits. And Ali he literally has his hands on the briefcase. But this music puts a trance on poor Ali. And he cannot move himself to step one rung up and grab the briefcase and win the match. Instead, he is so mesmerized that he can only stand on the top of that ladder with a stunned look on his face. Yeah. This made Ali look like an absolute chump.
Well, yeah, because by the time Lesnar got to the ring, you could have unclipped that briefcase and you would have had it.
Yes.
Because I'm just going to stand there with the match in my hand. I have it won, and I'm going to give you 25 seconds to get down to this ring.
Yeah. And the much better way that I would have done this is you have Ali clear the ring, you have him look up, and he has that realization, I can win, and he has the ladder set up, and you have him just, as soon as he steps on the first rung, then Lesnar's music hits. And then you get a brief shock on Ali, and then the moment of realization where he just goes, okay, I better hurry. Yeah. And then he just rushes up the ladder, but he just doesn't have quite enough time. That would have been much better.
Yeah.
And so Lesnar comes out, he pushes down the ladder that Ali was on, he climbs the ladder for himself, and he takes the briefcase. And I guess we didn't set the scene here that Sami Zayn was taken out.
Yeah.
And so that happened earlier in the night. Sami Zayn was left hanging unconscious upside down. And it was thought to be Braun Strowman. I would have thought that it was Bray Wyatt.
See, I would have thought it was Strowman if I didn't know this happened.
Yeah.
Then I would have thought, well, yeah, Strowman did it. That's no big deal.
I don't know, like the way that like someone being hung upside down just seems like more of a creepy thing, like a Bray Wyatt.
I could see it being a Bray Wyatt kind of thing.
But yeah, they did that whole thing, and Braun says that he didn't do it, and so it's left to the imagination of whether it was Lesnar or whoever.
Yeah.
But Lesnar reaps the benefits here, and I get that this is how, in a way, I'm supposed to feel, but I just felt bad for all 7 of those guys.
That busted their ass.
Minus maybe Randy Orton.
That busted their ass for nothing.
That absolutely destroyed themselves for Lesnar to come in and
and not even do anything but take it.
But I also get that that's what they want.
Well,
and
that depends. What are they trying to do? Are they going to put the belt back on him at Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, wherever the hell they're going?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because the plan that I know of that I've read is they're going to have him challenge Seth at Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
For the Universal title.
Yeah, and that was laid out before this match even.
And I cannot expect them to, well, I'm not going to say I can't expect them. I wouldn't expect them to have Seth drop it. So, after just winning at WrestleMania and just beating Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, but there's still that fear that it might happen.
Then you have the flip side, well, why would they? Okay, he's going to take the title and be gone off TV for months at a time. That kills your ratings. You have a problem with ratings already.
Yeah.
It makes for bad TV when, your people have nothing to chase. There's no champion to go for. So what's the point? Why even try on Raw if there's no title on Raw? And I know we've been there, we've discussed this, but we're going to do it again because they have to bring him up again.
Because they brought it back to the forefront.
Yeah.
So
now what I want to know, are they trying to piss people off? And I don't mean they're trying to get heat. I mean, are they legitimately trying to piss people off to the point they don't want to watch wrestling?
Yeah.
Because that's what it seems like when they're taking away the only top prize for the men on Raw.
And this is just, it's just such a strange thing, really. And I've seen some people defend this. Surprisingly.
Some people are crackheads, but it don't make them right.
But the thought is, among some people, is that the post-WrestleMania whole thing, like the ratings post-WrestleMania, are what has gone down drastically. And that's when we've been getting the record lows.
Well, that's because the product sucks.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
Yeah, but you have to go into your WWE mindsets.
Well, yeah, but it's always the time period after the Raw after Mania.
Yeah, but in this case, even the Raw after Mania was way down. And it's just the thing, like, I think when they get to that point where they feel like they are in a bind and they feel like things are crashing down and they have competition coming, is that they'll go back to old reliable. And
how is that old reliable?
Because
the only way he's reliable is if you don't want him to show.
Because in their mind, he's the draw that they have. And here's the thing, though.
But he's not anymore.
Well, I don't think that's true. But I get all that, and I would agree that Brock is one of few, if not really the only person on the roster that when he's there, you feel any sort of aura or a sense of specialness, if you will. And that's not defending this, because what that's indicative of is that they have not taken the time to create any new stars in the whole time that he's been here since he came back in like 2012. And the only real efforts that I feel like they've made to make a new star is Roman Reigns. And they tried so hard that everyone resented them for it.
And how do you think it looks trying so hard to put the title on Brock Lesnar? Or trying so hard to keep the title on Brock Lesnar?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm with you on that. I'm just...
I know we've been over all this, I know, but when they bring it back around, we got to start back around.
Yeah, and it's just an odd thing, and it's just laziness and going back to what has worked for you in the past.
It's laziness and what will Vince McMahon leave alone and let them do. And he likes to change everything because, this worked 5 years ago, let's do it again.
Yeah, and this is another example, not the example, of the neglect to make anyone else feel important.
Yeah, well, they don't care. Once you're under contract, they don't give a damn about you. Once you put your name on that line and you're theirs, you're fucked.
Yeah.
They don't care about you. They don't need to care about you because they already got you.
The mindset they have now, and it's well documented by many people, is that they don't want there to be draws anymore. They want WWE to be the draw. They don't want they don't want people to pay to see one person. They want to pay to see the WWE experience.
Well, if you want people to pay for that experience that I've had this Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, you'd owe me about $150 for me to enjoy that experience.
Yeah. So,
and if they want that, they have to listen to what the people want and actually go with it, not just say it on some bullshit TV segment and say, "Oh, you're the boss. Oh, if I'm the boss, quit doing the stupid shit. Quit putting titles on people that don't need them or don't deserve them. Quit buying people up and throwing them in the locker room. I mean, just quit. If we're the boss, give us what we want. Quality programming. Enough with all the videos. I don't need to see 500 videos a night. I don't need to see...
No, we're getting into a different thing now.
No, I mean, just overall. Show quality.
Yeah.
Just show quality. And that goes for wrestlers or pay-per-views or any other. Unless you're showing a specific event that needs to be covered, we don't need to see 100 videos every night.
No.
I mean, you're just killing my time. And in a 3-hour show, I should have at least 2 hours and 15 minutes of wrestling. But no, I don't. Well, I'm sorry, it's 2 hours TV time. So I should have like an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes wrestling.
Well,
it's just bullshit.
It can be spent in different ways. That I think TV is something that should be used to develop characters in one way or another.
But we don't need a story time and tell us everything that's happened over the past 5 months through videos every week.
No, but on the whole Brock thing, and I still think that there is a place for Brock Lesnar on WWE programming today.
Well, yeah, there is, and I'm not saying there's not.
And if we were using him to help elevate others at some point or another, then it would make sense. And that's kind of what they did with Seth. Although I didn't like that Seth couldn't beat him without a low blow, but that's nitpicking.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't mind it.
Yeah,
I guess to each of their own, I guess.
Yeah, but either way, this match and the whole reports several weeks ago was that they were going to use this match to make a new star. And
when's that going to happen?
And I mean, the winner of the match was a star. It's just that he already was.
Yes, you're not making a star.
Yeah, allegedly, according to WrestleVotes, who we've referenced in the past, they have a decent track record that the weekend leading up to this, that they did not know that they were going to use Brock here, and the original plan, they were 50-50 between having either Drew McIntyre or Ali win, and I think the Observer reported that Ali was the original winner.
I mean, honestly, I would have rather Strowman. I'd rather Lesnar come down and get taken out by McIntyre.
Yeah.
And McIntyre go up the ladder and win. Or Ali. It's hard to see Ali taking out Lesnar, though.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not possible.
Maybe with a weapon or something.
Or, maybe a kick to the midsection, because that's like the bullseye is the midsection.
The nuts.
Or the nuts, yeah.
Those are the two.
But, I mean, I wouldn't have minded him in the match, but he doesn't need to win it.
Yeah.
And especially when he didn't even do anything He didn't take a bump. He didn't take a lick. He didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
He walked in and goes, "Shut up," and took the damn briefcase.
Yeah. And that was the part that was clearly by design to get that reaction.
But you don't need that reaction every time he's on TV, and that's what we get back to every time he comes on TV. You say they do it for the reaction every time, and I don't think they need to, because the more they do it, I think the more it hurts them.
Yeah.
And look at viewership for the week. It was down still, for both Raw and SmackDown.
I think Raw improved.
It improved, but it was still below where it needs to be.
It was below to the annual rating, but it was up opposed to the last previous weeks.
Well, that doesn't take much.
Yeah.
but I mean, to be where it needs to be, it's still way below.
Yeah.
And same with SmackDown. To be where it needs to be, it's way below.
Yeah. So.
And doing something like this just does not help.
Yeah.
And I hope they get low ratings every day until they figure this shit out.
Yeah, I would have been interested had Ali won the match. It seems like they've been touch and go with him on whether they want to push him or not.
Well, that's because they put him in these dangerous matches, and they probably dangle something in front of him. Oh yeah, man, here you could get Money in the Bank. Oh, you got hurt, you're out for 5 months. We'll use you later after the next person winds down.
Yeah, and that's
what they did with Kofi.
Well, what?
Kofi
because Kofi Ali got injured and took the spot that Ali was supposed to be in.
They pushed Kofi.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying it wouldn't have happened with Ali, but I think the public, the fans, got behind Kofi because they know Kofi.
Right. It would have been harder for Ali to do the same thing.
So I think Ali actually got a reprieve because he might have squandered that title shot when he really wasn't going to get it anyway.
Yeah, but between that and if Ali was supposed to win until they went to LESNAR, I do feel for him. Like I hope they do something with him.
Yeah, I mean, give him
because
look at R-Truth. At least they gave him the title for a while. And I don't mean the 24/7 title. I mean a U.S. title.
Yeah, I think Ali is more potential than that.
Ali's SmackDown.
Yeah, he's a SmackDown guy.
Okay, so he could
wild card brother.
Well, I mean, obviously he could go for the 24/7 title because that's everybody.
No,
well, I'm just saying could.
That's the wrong territory. We're going to talk about that later.
But I mean, there's the U.S. title he can go for.
Yeah,
which honestly they should. He deserves it. I'll give him that.
Something, and there's a lot of guys that need to be doing something.
Yeah. All these multi-person matches.
Andrade is someone else that I think the world of that they're not doing anything with.
I mean, he does good when he's used, whether he's supposed to win or not, and he makes it believable. But you're right. Him and Ali teaming up and going at it against each other would be one hell of a match.
Yeah, they did that on a Tuesday, and it was a good match.
If there's no outside interference, which, Zelina has to stay in the back, I want to see a real fucking match. I'm tired of this bullshit. That's why I'm going to quit watching WWE when AEW gets on TV.
Yeah, well, we have Double or Nothing on Saturday, so
I'm going to check it out.
So we'll come back on Thursday, and I'm sure we'll...
Oh, wait, that's talk. A couple days from now.
Yeah, we'll talk on that as much as we can. I mean... That's the great thing about it is it's all foreign to us. Like,
and it's our show. We can do what we want.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we don't know a lot of these guys that are going to be on the show.
But we can get an idea of how their shows are going to go.
Yeah.
What kind of talent they have on the roster. How good the announcers are, which should be pretty good with JR.
Yeah. JR is... I'm touchy on him because I'm not sure if... I'm looking for JR to have a really good performances on AEW because he's done the stuff with New Japan in the past and just hasn't been the same, I will say. So I'm hoping he's able to capture that back. And he's
just not getting too old.
Yeah, he's older now, and I think it's great that AEW gave him this spot because, I mean, it'd be tough for a lot of companies to hire a lead announcer in the condition that JR is in. That
Yeah.
I mean, JR, like, he can't smile.
No,
like
really.
that's one of the things that he talks about. And you know, JR's my favorite commentator that there ever has been. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that he is able to get back in that groove that he was in back when, and really just for his own sanity, since his wife passed a couple years ago, that this gives him something to
Live for.
focus on, and just that too.
And then I read that Justin Roberts is going to be the ring announcer.
Yeah, Justin Roberts did the All In show, and he'll be the ring announcer for AEW. It seems.
Those who don't know, he used to be WWE.
Yeah, he wrote a book a while back about his whole time in WWE.
Yeah.
And
In fact, he's the one that got started with was it him that mentioned the hazing that happened?
yeah, I think so. He mentioned a lot of bad things.
Yeah. I thought it was his book that actually brought the hazing into the public's eye.
Yeah, it may have been. I can't remember everything. I remember a lot of the petty things he talked about, like how, like when the announcers open the show and they say "Welcome to Monday Night Raw" and all that, like that he's told to not do that because they don't want the crowd to pop for the ring announcer.
Why not? They don't pop for the wrestlers. Shit, you might as well get something out of them.
Yeah, and all sorts of other things, but that's irrelevant right
And that concludes Money in the
now.
Bank.
Yeah, that was
Finally.
Money in the Bank.
3 hours later.
Hour and a half, but
Close enough.
yeah, so we'll talk. I guess we'll give an overall sentiment on this pay-per-view is that it was WWE. There was stuff that I liked, and the performances, and a lot of the matches. Like if you just go on work alone, the Rollins and AJ match was really good. The Owens and Kofi match was good. The men's Money in the Bank ladder match was, I thought, a fantastic match.
It was a good match, but I found it kind of boring in some spots. Because there was some spots where it's just like, okay, everybody's down. Now what? And the camera's just panning around. And everybody's on the floor, which I get. It happens sometimes.
So do you just want a non-stop car wreck?
Well, no, but it doesn't always have to be a car wreck.
Right.
You don't have to have destruction every minute to have a good match and a ladder match.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they think they have to do, is dangerous moves, high-flying moves, hard-hitting power moves that cause pain on ladders.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that all the time.
Well,
You can have a good match.
yeah, that's wrestling in 2019.
But, I mean, it's not wrestling. That's just a car wreck.
Yeah.
But to me, there was just too much time where people were on the ground too much all the time.
Yeah, and the women's match I thought was pretty good too. Like the Money in the Bank match, that is.
Yeah.
But so there was enough good stuff that
I'd give it a B-.
This should have been a good show, but the baffling decisions that were made throughout it just damaged it too much.
I'd give it a B-, and then Lesnar came out, so I give it a C-.
Yeah, I'll echo that. So
we're going to do the next two shows fairly quickly.
Yeah, I only have cliff notes, and one of them is that if there was one good thing to come with Brock Lesnar winning Money in the Bank, it is when he came out and used the briefcase as a boombox.
I'll give you that. That was kind of funny.
And the amount of edits that has been made on that I've just seen everywhere. Like him listening to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song. And, there's thousands.
Oh, I can imagine.
And I'm convinced that Brock gets like a satisfaction of pissing people off.
Well, yeah.
Because you never see him more happy than when he knows he's pissing people off.
But, it's one thing to do it as part of your job. But when you're trying to do it and I'm going to say literally, because I know you hate that word, but if you're literally trying to piss them off outside, where it's not just kayfabe shit, then you're taking it too far, because this is supposed to be entertainment, and if you can't entertain, then you can't be there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that simple. If you're not going to entertain one way or the other, then get gone.
Well, I'll always roll back to that's WWE's fault, not Lesnar's fault.
I'm saying both, because he keeps flip flopping. Well, I'm going to retire and I'm going to UFC, and then I'm going to retire from there, and I'm going to go back to WWE, and I'm going to retire from there and go to UFC.
That doesn't affect how he's booked. So that just affects how much they're paying him.
No, but it does affect how he's booked, because if he doesn't say anything and he just goes, they're going to book him normal. But no, since he keeps saying he's going to leave, they keep booking him to give him the title and money and everything else, because they want to keep him. Well, that doesn't help the fans who pay the bills. Who pays his salary? It doesn't help us any.
I think they're two separate things.
They just need to just fess up and go, look, we said you're the boss. You guys aren't the boss. The McMahons are the boss. That's all that matters. We're going to do what we want. Shut your fucking face.
Well, they don't have to say it.
Well, they've
already said it.
Well, no, but they also came out and said, we're the boss. We're the authority.
Yeah, but they've told us enough times that we're not, that they don't have to say it.
See, I mean, I just miss the old days, and I'm getting really fed up with this shit nowadays, to the point I'm almost fed up to the point I don't want to watch. I'm dead serious. I almost don't want to watch anymore. There's nothing that really interests me on any of these 3 cards from the 3 shows that I can honestly say I would miss if I didn't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you, but
except for Alexa Bliss.
Whatever, but
but I mean, there's nothing I'd miss.
Yeah, we'll start our new Monday Night Wars podcast soon.
Yeah, we might have to switch it up and forget these shows and move to the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah, it'll be a fun show too, because it'll be reliving for you, and it'll be
the first time for you.
Yeah, like I know a lot of the stuff, but
yeah, you've seen a lot.
Like I've never deep dived into WCW.
And see, I lived it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you started watching around just about the time WCW was ending, or ended.
6 years after. Like,
well, they ended in what, like 01?
01. I didn't watch until 2007.
Oh, okay. I thought, for some reason, I thought you said it was around the time they ended.
No, it was way
after. Okay, yeah. Well, shit. Yeah, you got some catching up to do, boy.
Yeah, I remember the first WrestleMania.
I'm gonna have to relive it.
Was I first watched WrestleMania 23, and it was It's funny to look back on that now, because it was the Donald Trump and Vince McMahon feud. And I find that hysterical to watch now, knowing what we know.
Yeah, knowing what we know. Wow, that's crazy. That means you were how old?
I would have been 11 in 2007.
Oh my god, dude. Dude, really?
Yeah.
11?
I would have been 11.
Dude, I would have been...
like 26?
27.
Yeah.
26, 27. Oh my god, no wonder. Man, I keep forgetting you're so much younger than I am.
A little bit.
A little bit, my ass. A little bit, 4, 5, 6 years. Not 15.
I do want to acknowledge, though, that Donald Trump is the only president to have ever been on the receiving end of a Stone Cold Stunner.
Okay, I'll give you that.
He did a terrible job of selling it.
It goes to show the type of job he's doing as president.
No, we're not supposed to go there, Chris.
I had to. You brought it up. You can edit that out if you want.
Yeah, now we're going to have...
We ain't going to edit. We're just going to move on.
Yeah.
Now we got Monday Night Raw.
We'll just act like that didn't happen. But, yeah, Brock Lesnar and his boombox. And then I saw a lot of people did not like that Cesaro beat Ricochet. And I kind of disagree, because...
So you just totally skipping Sammy and Braun? You're just not going to touch it?
What even happened? It wasn't even a match.
The bell rang before the ref called... The bell rang to start the match before the ref even called for it.
Okay.
I thought there would be interference, but there wasn't. Braun wins.
Okay.
So at least got to touch something on it.
Yeah. Well, let me know when I skip over something. So then Cesaro beat Ricochet, and I think Cesaro's new gimmick is just to be a dick to people backstage, and that starts a match.
But it's not just that. He's only a dick to the smaller people, smaller than him.
Right.
And if you think about it, a lot of times they're already injured.
Yeah.
Or supposedly injured, which I'm sure the day after the ladder match, everybody's injured.
Yeah.
Everybody's hurting.
Yes.
If you're in that match, you're hurting.
Yes.
And you could tell because every time anything happened to Ricochet, whether he did it or it was done to him, his back hurt.
Yeah.
And you could tell.
Yeah, I don't know if it was partly selling, but
I'm sure some of it was.
But I'm also sure that he was hurting.
Oh, I'm sure he had to have been sore. Look the way he landed on that ladder.
Yeah, but
that's got my back bruised.
But the thing is that like that whole match, I felt like was between commercials and there was some shrink screen in like the middle of it where they played like a movie preview or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what it was
Secret
for.
Life of Pets 2.
There you go, the Secret Life.
Well, that was the sponsor for the night.
Well, they didn't fucking shrink down Money in the Bank matches and go, this match is presented by Papa John's.
But that's because it's a pay-per-view. Come on, it's Papa John's. Who wants to see that ad?
Shaquille O'Neal.
Being that we're on air, I'm not going to say how the ad I would think they'd play.
Well, they have Shaq backing them now.
Well, yeah, they have Shaq, but he's not on TV yet, so give him time.
Yeah, so
then he can ride in his car with the general to Papa John's.
And he'll have his Dove Men Plus Care and his Gold Bond body
That's
lotion.
That's Gold Bond. I was trying to think which one it was.
And his 10,000 other sponsors.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've never watched or seen clips of the show that Shaq's on Inside the NBA, but the whole thing is just him and Charles Barkley just like ribbing each other and their whole production staff. Like there was one point like they were talking about the whole thing that they were going to put ads on the jerseys in the NBA, and so like. The production team made like a thing for each of the guys on TV, like if they had a sponsor, and like Charles Barkley had like a Krispy Kreme donuts thing on his suits, and then for Shaq it just has like every single one of his sponsors just on there, and it's just and like the Dove Men Plus Care is like written on his head, and because there's no room.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, he's in everything.
Yeah, he is. Oh, what do we got next? You know what we got next?
Well, I was going to finish the Cesaro and Ricochet thing. But what do you think about Ricochet being beaten again? Because he lost to Rude not long ago.
Right, yeah, before the pay-per-view.
Yeah, he lost to Cesaro here, and they have the outs of him being injured.
And I think that's what they're going to use, but it could also be used as a start to a feud with Cesaro.
Yeah.
Which would be good because I think it'd be a good combo with those two.
Yeah, and then Ricochet can win a match, and then
Cesaro win a match, and then Ricochet win a match, and then at WrestleMania 49 they'll come to an end.
Yeah, this way no one gets over.
Exactly. No one is allowed to get over anymore. So if you win, the next week I have to win.
Yeah. But like that's what they did with the Usos.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had him lose to Bryan and Rowan, and then they had him beat Bryan and Rowan, and then they had him against the Revival in this match, and later.
But before that, we got the big dog. Sorry, I wrote it extra big just so I could say it like that.
Yeah. So we have Roman versus Shane getting set up for Super Showdown. Which is strange considering the reports before was that before Roman got his cancer diagnosis, that he was planning on not going to the next Saudi Arabia show.
Yeah, he pulled out of the last two.
He was at the first one.
No, he wasn't the first one. He pulled out of the last one.
But he ended up being out of it anyway because he was off everything. But the deal was allegedly that he was going to pull out even if he was still wrestling at that time.
Now, I did read on that note that on Tuesday night, there was one person with their name on the list not going, and that was Kevin Owens.
Yeah, Kevin Owens.
But then somewhere I saw that it's going up to 4 people.
Well, now it's Sami Zayn because he's not allowed, and Daniel Bryan, who has already stated in the past that he doesn't want to.
Okay, so he's not going again.
And Kevin Owens and Aleister Black is being left off, and I believe it's a company decision because of his tattoos.
If there's all about inclusivity, whatever the hell, being inclusive with everybody, then how come half the roster has to stay the fuck home? How are you going to sit there and sell $1 billion program to some person?
Saudi prince.
I was trying to be nice. Person. And yet you can't take your women. Certain men can't go because of their ethnical background. Where they're from.
Yeah, Sammy is
part Serbian.
Syrian.
They're Syrian.
Yeah, Syrian. And they don't want him to go because
and yet tattoos that you can't even see on Aleister Black from the first row, they have an issue with. Fuck that. I'd never go. I mean, really, what is the point of... I know it's all about just money to them.
Money.
It's only money. That's all that matters to WWE.
And not just money. A fuck ton of money.
$1 billion. $1 billion with a B. What the fuck? You could buy wrestlers for that and have a new show every day. You're the Saudi prince. You don't need WWE. You could buy... Well, I'm not going to say you can buy WWE, but you could buy everybody in the eastern part of the world to be your wrestlers.
Yeah.
I mean, why do you need to bring in wrestlers that can't come? Can't because of whether their culture, their age, their sex, their color. What the fuck is wrong with people? If I was that locker room, every one of them should say, no, I'm not going. Then what would they do?
Well,
they couldn't do nothing because nobody's going to show.
Yeah,
they'd have
that's very true.
I mean, they have to bring in NXT UKers because that's just a new thing, and then local jobbers. That's all they'd be able to bring.
And Goldberg
and Undertaker.
They would just have that one match,
and then before that it would be Undertaker versus a jobber, and then Goldberg versus a jobber, and then Undertaker versus Goldberg, and then the same thing again versus jobbers as a tag team this time.
Yeah.
It don't make no sense. $1 billion for you to put on a show, which is fine. Make that money. But if you're going to make that money, make sure you put it to good work, and you're not. Because the only thing you care about is that money.
Yeah.
You don't care about your show. You don't care about the product you're producing.
And they don't care about the PR that it is
hell no. Because it's wrestling. Any PR is good PR. I mean, think about it.
Yeah, that's
wrestling didn't pick up until the big steroid incident, and then it got bigger.
And as far as in then
you had the concussion incidents.
Yeah,
and then it's gotten bigger since. Every time something bad happens, WWE gets bigger. It doesn't hurt it.
Yeah, I mean,
if you really think about it, and I'm saying that because I've been watching for that long.
Yeah.
So I've noticed how 25 years ago, wrestlers came out with no music. They just walked out the entrance and they were announced. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And now you've got a whole fucking theatrical production just to come to the ring.
Yeah.
Just to produce a shitty 2-minute match. You spent more on electricity than what we want to spend watching that match. Just to bring that wrestler to the ring. I hate it. I hate it.
So that's still on the Saudi Arabia thing? Or
yeah, everything. I'm just going off. It's going off now. Shit pisses me off. I told you I'm to the point I'm about ready to be done watching. Maybe I need to stop for about a year and see what happens.
I think next week we're going to try a WCW, WWF one.
we'll find a video this week and we'll watch it and we'll do a show next week on something besides WWE
Yeah.
World Wrestling excrement.
Anyway, so Roman and Shane get set up for Super Showdown, and somehow along the way, Drew McIntyre has been dragged into the Shane McMahon vortex, and this pissed me off more because Drew McIntyre is always just the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
For Dolph Ziggler, he was the other guy. For Baron Corbin, he was the other guy. And now he's the other guy for Shane goddamn McMahon.
But that could be a good thing. Because think about what he does.
He'll get the rub from Shane?
Well, he probably gets a rub from Shane, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking, think about it. In about a month, he's going to get fed up and he's going to turn on Shane.
So then Shane can beat him in a match.
That's
right.
Fine. But that means he won't be going against anybody else that matters. It's WWE. Nothing makes fucking sense anymore.
Shane needs to retire.
A lot of shit needs to happen. Yeah, I think, you know what? I'm going to say it now. I'm not watching next week.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm done.
I think we're going to try the first week of the Monday Night Wars and just go from there.
I just can't do this shit anymore. My stress level don't need it.
I can attest to that.
I get worked up over this because I love wrestling. And I know what works, I know what doesn't, because I've watched it so long. I know what's good, I know what's bad. I know what you've done 5 years ago, 5 days ago. So I'm just done. I'm tired of seeing the same shit. I never get to see anything good. I mean, hell, I show up to the WrestleMania for the first time in my life just to see The Undertaker and the fucker don't show. First time in 18 years.
I think that's more petty, though.
It might be petty, but still. First time in 18 years, he don't go to Mania, and that's the one I'm at. You see what
I'm gonna err on the side of pettiness, though.
On that one, yes. On that part. Yeah, but they just still piss
because
me off.
Either way, you wouldn't have seen the Undertaker you wanted to see. You would have seen old
decrepit Taker.
Yeah.
But I could have seen... It's not about seeing him. It's about seeing his entrance live. I've seen a billion of them online, on TV. I want to see his entrance live. That's it. That's all. I just want to feel the electricity.
Yeah.
The excitement of
the
gong.
That's part of it, though. Is like it's not like they promised that Undertaker was going to be there.
I'm not saying they did. I'm not.
Because there have been instances where you could buy a ticket to an advertised match that was never going to happen in the first place.
Yeah, we've been there. Just January,
because card subjects change.
Yes. But it just ticked me off. The first time in 18 years he doesn't show up at Mania, and that's the one we're at. The only one I plan on ever going to, and it's the one he doesn't go to. Yeah, it's petty, but still.
Yeah, I mean, you were off to a good start with the actual problems.
Well, that is a problem for me. It's a petty problem, but it's still a problem.
Yeah.
But no, it's just horrible now. The workmanship is horrible. There's so many botches. I might as well call it Monday Night Botching.
I disagree on that. I think...
Well, okay, maybe not botches.
I think...
Maybe wrong word. But like the shadow punches, where you can physically see a foot of room between the foot and a face, or a fist and a face. If you can see that much room, you botched it.
No, I get that, but
and that's what I'm calling botches.
I'm also willing to say, though, that I think the performers and the work there is really better than it ever has been.
I mean, as far as
it's the storytelling that's missing, and
that's part of it, yes. But another part is, well, one, they're introducing us to all these people, and then we never see them.
Right.
That's another part. You know, you gonna get me hyped up and excited about this person, and then I don't see them again.
You get conditioned to not care about anything.
And now,
when they do all the NXT call-ups and all of them are doing absolutely nothing.
I mean, the only ones we really see from the last round is what? Ricochet, and now Nikki Cross.
Yeah, and other than that, I mean, EC3,
ACM. I'm not even counting Lars Sullivan.
Heavy Machinery.
He's got to make time to make up before I count him as on there. He was gone for like 3 months. He's got to make that shit up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just the stories aren't being told like they need to be. There's almost too many stories because everything changes so much.
Well, it's
in one story.
Yeah, and that's it's one of NXT has done such a great job of doing long-term storylines.
Yeah,
and
you praised them a lot before.
Yeah, and I think Triple H does a fantastic job with that. And the thing is like Vince's excuse now is that there's more injuries now, and so we can't do long-term stories because someone will get injured. But you look at NXT, and the main one I'll bring up is the Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano storyline.
Okay.
That went back
that was forever.
All the way back to the Cruiserweight Classic, which was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And along the way, Tommaso got injured twice. And they didn't just scrap the storyline, they amended it.
Yeah.
They made it fit what they wanted to do when they were going to have a triple threat match with Aleister Black and Ciampa and Gargano. Aleister Black got injured. So what they do, they had a mysterious setup where someone attacked Aleister Black, like the whole Stone Cold run over with the car thing.
Yeah.
And then that made the storyline even better because on the fly, because they had to adjust it, it ended up even being better because it ended up being Gargano that attacked Aleister Black, the ultimate babyface.
Yeah. And
he did it because of his vengeful hate towards Ciampa, and that he wanted to get him alone, and that was his reasoning behind it.
But they worked with the injuries to make it work for the show.
Yes.
Nowadays, it's, they're out with an injury, we're just going to move on.
And it's easy to push the blame Vince button, but I think it's the entire process. And Vince is involved in that, and he's the biggest part in it. But at what point are the guys in creative and the writers going to just stand up for themselves?
Well, they're not, because what's the point? They'll just get fired.
Yeah.
That's why we've had, 3 of them quit in the past, 3-4 weeks? 3 writers or 3 creative members quit?
Yeah, and you have the agents too, Dean Malenko.
Road Dogg quit.
Yeah.
I mean, that should tell you something.
And he even directly cited that he was tired of everything getting changed at the last second.
Tired of Vince changing everything.
And there was even the report on this exact Raw when Brock Lesnar went out to do the opening segment. They did not have the finalized script yet.
Yeah. Well, hello. How are you going to sit there and do an entertaining show to the people that are paying everybody's salary?
Could you imagine if Game of Thrones or any other TV show for that matter, before they're going to tape their next season, and then they get to the taping portion, they're getting ready for everything, and they're just like, all right, well, what are we doing today? Oh, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, just wing it. Yeah, that's pretty much the same thing they're doing.
Well, we're still working on it, but
Game of Thrones is better because at least you have dragons.
That's what we're missing is dragons.
Well, you might as well. If nothing else makes sense in WWE, you might as well have dragons.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we do. Ricky the Dragon.
Steamboats.
Yeah.
Do you want to continue?
No.
No. Usos and Revival had a good match because imagine that when you put 2 good teams in a match together and don't do stupid nonsense, they end up having a hell of a match.
It ends in a roll-up.
But it was a roll-up with the tights, at least.
Yeah.
They cheated.
Yeah, it was a cheap roll-up. It wasn't just a roll-up. It was a cheating one.
Either way.
I'm not upset about the roll-up part. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Just to point out how many end up in a roll-up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, especially this week.
Yeah, but who would have thought you put two good teams together and give them some time and they'll have a good match instead of Usi hot and
you see what happens when
back shaving.
When you're able to entertain and do a show, it turns out good.
Yeah.
Which we can't say for the past couple of weeks with the Usos.
All right, I'm curious to get your thoughts on this one. The
Firefly Funhouse. Oh,
I didn't even have that written down, but
I just wrote that I like this one.
Yeah,
but that's because nothing was really done in it.
Yeah, they just did a bunch of creepy kids.
It wasn't even really kids. It was just it kept flashing to the mask.
Yeah,
I mean, there was really nothing to the segment, so that could be why I liked it. But personally, I like the mask that he wears. I'm just curious where it's going.
Yeah.
You know, I told you last week I'd keep an open mind, and I did.
Which is good.
And, you know, I'm still keeping an open mind. I haven't closed it off yet. I mean, I did like this quick little 15, 20-second segment that they had.
Yeah.
Nice little video just to get you interested. We'll see where it goes.
Do you have anything else before the 24/7 thing?
Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Moment of Bliss.
Yeah, there was Becky on there.
Oh, no. I'm just curious. You know, she said she requested coffee.
Yeah.
Was that like a ploy, a joke on Game of Thrones in the coffee cup?
I don't even know what any of that is, so I don't know.
Because on Game of Thrones a couple weeks ago, during filming, the stage crew left a coffee cup.
Right, yeah.
That looked like a Starbucks cup. So it just made me wonder did she ask for coffee because of that?
Maybe.
Because I've never seen her ask for coffee before. On Moment of Bliss.
Not on air.
No. So
there was the segment where the guy was bringing her coffee and she was shirtless.
Yeah, when she was in the locker room.
Yeah.
But I've never seen her ask for it on air. So it made me think.
Well, it's been said that Vince is a Game of Thrones fan.
Yeah. So it makes me want to maybe.
Which is surprising.
Well, I'm not. You know, he could. He's like all of Game of Thrones wrapped in one. He is the Iron Throne.
Yeah.
He's on the Iron Throne. Everybody's going after him.
Yeah, I mean it's funny to me though because all the stories about Vince, like he doesn't watch TV, like his life is wrestling.
Yeah,
this is all he does.
3 or 4 hours a night, every night.
Yeah.
At 70+ years old.
A good Vince story is that Vince did not know what a burrito was. That's a real story.
When?
I can't remember when, and I honestly can't remember who told it. It might have been a Jericho thing, or maybe a Bruce Pritchard thing. But that they were talking about getting lunch, and someone suggested having burritos, and Vince didn't know what a burrito was. And so they got it for him, and he tried it, and he liked it.
How do you not know what a burrito is? Like, really?
Yeah, at 50 or whatever years old.
If you hit 18 and you don't know what a burrito is, there's some problems.
That's the thing. His whole life has been WWE.
I bet they sell burritos at some of the arenas he goes to.
Probably. He's not spending time there, though.
Well, no, he's back in catering. So I will have to say, when they used to show the Gorilla Room, he was always there.
Yeah. So
I give him credit. He's always working.
Yeah.
He's just working on a crappy show.
Yeah.
But
I'll never discredit the work that he's put in.
No, you can't. I mean,
because it's literally his life's work.
He's taken wrestling from I'm going to say WWF, from a northeastern territory to a nationwide, worldwide business.
Yeah. And he did a lot of smart things in that time.
And he has.
Just demolishing the territories.
It wasn't. I'd say he went downhill when WCW went down.
Yeah, when there was no more competition.
Yeah, when there's no competition, he's complacent.
Yeah. And
now he can't be because of AEW coming in. But he's been complacent for so long, that's all he knows.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm fine. Well, I'm WWE. I have no competition. Well, you do now, and now look at your product. It looks worse than commercials for your competition.
So,
What else did I have? Should have known Bliss was going to be in a match because Moment of Bliss, she was in wrestling gear.
But she stood on the
I didn't want to lose my luggage.
She's obviously still not cleared.
No,
because she was not actually in the match.
She technically was. In the record book, she will.
She stood on the ground. Yeah, on the floor while Becky and Lacey. Or not Becky and Lacey. Becky and Nikki went against Lacey and the Iconics.
Yeah.
But
I guess because she always comes out in the pants.
Did you see the Botchamania moment in that match? Where
maybe.
It was your favorite, Billy Kay. That Becky's on the top rope and Billy Kay is getting up. And Becky says, "Come closer."
Oh, yeah. You can hear it plain as day. 3 or 4 times.
Billy Kay just stands right where she is, and Becky says 3 times, "Come closer."
Yeah.
And then she just says, "Well, fuck it. I guess I'll just do the move anyway."
Well, but I wasn't sure if that was botch or if it was just, talking shit. I'm up here. Come closer. Come on, come closer. And
they could have played it that way.
But that's what, I didn't know which way to take it.
Yeah.
Because I could have took it either way. But yeah, I did catch that. Now we're up to
24/7.
Let's just say Nikki, Becky, and Bliss win.
Okay.
But yes, now we're at the.
So
24/7.
Mick Foley is here to announce this new title,
which was a mistake.
Which was either a mistake to have Foley do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
For more than one reason.
So Mick's. We saw this when he was the GM. He cannot do a promo anymore.
No.
And I'm not sure if that's because he just can't do a promo or if it's because they're trying to script every word for him and he's taken too many chair shots to the head to be able to remember a script.
Well, I don't know about chair shots to the head, but he's taking dives off a cage.
You don't remember the handcuffed Rock steel chair shots to the head?
Oh, yeah, like 10 of them?
Yeah. That was in the Beyond the Mat documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a combination of all those things is why Mick Foley cannot cut a promo.
But when you have Foley introducing a new title, what title do you think is going to be introduced by Foley?
The Hardcore title.
Thank you. We're not the only two. In fact, everybody in the audience thought it was too.
Yeah, and I think that's why they didn't react to it. And
they're trying to say there was a shot, Foley announced on Twitter that he blamed his promo on not getting a pop.
Yeah, he said that it was a bad performance on it.
And it was.
And I give him credit for being able to say that.
But at the same time, it wasn't really all his fault.
And he also did say that he felt like they were expecting it to be the Hardcore title.
Well, yeah. Why would we? Why would we not expect a Hardcore title when you have the Hardcore man himself coming out to bring it out to us?
Yeah.
What's a 24/7 title?
Well,
it's the same thing, really.
Yeah, that's what I'm
just
getting at. Is that
name.
But
it's ugly as all hell.
Well, yeah, the design is terrible.
I'd rather have the old ripped up duct tape.
I don't mind it being called the 24/7 title. Really,
I don't mind the name. I don't. I understand it's
but your point is that it shouldn't have been Mick Foley
because he's synonymous with hardcore.
Yes.
He was the first hardcore champion. McMahon made that belt for him as a joke. Yes. And I'm sure a lot of people don't know it was a joke.
Yeah, well,
it was supposed to be.
Yeah, and I think the whole deal, if I'm not mistaken, it became the 24/7 rules because Crash Holly won it, and he did the whole the whole thing where I'll defend this title anytime, anywhere, and they're just like, well, okay,
all right then, from now on, it's 24/7.
Yeah, and that's when the title in that iteration just became like the Crash Hollies, the Mavens, all the undercard guys,
which is good because they don't have anything.
Yeah, but it's a double-edged sword though, because. And in this segment alone, we got that, is that if nobodies are the only people winning this title, then it doesn't mean anything.
Well, that's like, Okay, we'll kind of get through this kind of quicker because I know we're probably getting close on time.
We got 50 minutes left, and I only have one note on SmackDown.
Yeah, but you didn't have many notes on Raw, and it's taking this long too.
Yeah, but yeah,
I mean, what I don't get is he said, just to paraphrase, he's going to put the belt down, leave the ring. First one to get the belt.
Yeah, that was goofy.
I thought it was kind of funny how that instead of just doing a match for it, like a battle royal, no, it's first one to the ring gets it. I thought it was funny. It
turned into the TNA reverse battle royal.
Yes, because everybody's on the outside of the ring. There's like 3-on-1, 4-on-1.
Yeah,
no one's going for the belt. Sitting in the ring.
They're all acting like they can't get in the ring.
Yeah, and it's like, ain't nobody holding your feet. There's already 3 people fighting that one dude. You don't need to be a 4th.
Yeah.
Get your ass in the ring, get the belt, and get out of here.
Yeah, so eventually Titus O'Neil is the one to grab the title. He becomes the first 24/7 champion.
Well, first we thought that was going to be Maverick. Drake.
Yeah.
Because, he was going for it, but Titus stepped on the belt.
Yeah.
And, of course, he just tossed Drake aside.
O'Neil goes to celebrate. He goes up the ramp, and out of nowhere comes Robert Roode, who rolls him up at the ramp and gets the title.
Yeah.
Roode runs away with everyone chasing him. R-Truth, out of nowhere, comes in to help Robert Roode.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see where this was going from a mile away.
Oh, yeah.
He hides Robert Roode in his trunk.
Yeah.
And then tells everyone, oh, he went that way.
Yeah.
Fends them all off. And then he gets him out of the trunk.
But if you notice in that group of people he was fending off as they were leaving, you hear one of them go, "You better not be lying."
I didn't notice that.
I think it was Titus, actually.
So he gets all them to run away, and then he gets Roode out of the trunk, and
well, there's you got the ref out first.
Well, no, he gets Roode out of the trunk and tells him to get in the back seat of his car.
Yeah.
He opens the door, and a ref comes out of the back seat, and Roode's like, "Oh, well, what's he doing here?"
Yeah.
And then Truth puts Roode's head off the car, pins him, and he wins the championship, and then proclaims that he's going to defend the European title on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And I think the one golden thing about this is that the original 24/7 title didn't come in the social media era.
No.
And I think there's a ton of potential to do stuff at house shows, on Twitter, on .com.
But if it's going to be at a house show, WWE has to have a camera there. Because you have to have video proof that there was a pinfall.
Well, they always have cameras there.
But I mean, a lot of times they'll announce stuff that happened on a house show, but they never show it.
Yeah, they can do that.
But all you can do is find cell phone footage.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's crap.
Yeah. But they record every house show, so there's no reason.
Yeah, they record it. But
there's no reason that they can't show it.
They need to at least put it on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
Facebook Live would be even better.
Yeah.
But let's see.
So that's all I really had for Raw. 24/7 title. I mean, I don't hate it. I
hate the way it looks. Because it looks so stupid.
It does look shitty, but
I mean, green. A green strap.
Yeah, it looks like the belt that Braun Strowman won for winning the Royal Rumble.
It probably is. It's probably the same belt, just a different front part.
Yeah, but
he won't need this shit no more. We ain't using him.
But I'm okay with the concept of it. It'll hopefully give some fun segments, and it won't mean anything because I mean the highest profile guy in here was R-Truth.
R-Truth or Titus.
Or Robert Roode.
I wouldn't even consider him high profile. Not yet. He ain't been around long enough.
He's only been around like 20 years.
Not in WWE.
Whatever. But you get my point. Is that there's no name that is going to go after this title.
Drake Maverick. He's a name.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a big name.
Well,
I don't know about a big name.
He's a name.
He's a name from AOPP.
Yeah. Whatever. Let's go to SmackDown.
Miz and McIntyre. Shane interferes enough to where McIntyre.
Oh yeah, I forgot to even note that. But
Kofi and Rollins teaming up against Lashley and Corbin.
Yeah, Corbin was in another damn main event.
No disqualification match.
Yeah, that's another thing. It was a tag match that was no disqualification.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Huh?
Yeah, it made no sense.
It was a good match
because they were still tagging in and out.
Yeah. Why? It's a tag match with no DQ. Who cares? I mean, it was a good match. I'm surprised Kofi got the pin over Corbin, though. I figured they'd have Lashley take it.
Yeah, and even though Corbin pinned Rollins not long ago.
Yeah. Not too
whatever.
long.
So, SmackDown. The only thing I really have to talk about is Dolph Ziggler. Imagine that. So
okay, well, you want me to run through the rest real quick?
Yeah, run through what this SmackDown entailed.
All right. Ali versus Andrade.
Good match.
It was good. It was kind of boring, though, for having those two specific people in it. Like, not a lot
You expected more.
Just maybe more high-flying, more something, more spectacular.
Okay.
Just because, I consider them both kind of cruiserweights. So,
yeah.
High flyers.
Yeah, Andrade isn't as much.
Not as much, but he has the potential to.
Yeah.
And the ability to. And the way I see it, if wrestlers are sore after a pay-per-view like Money in the Bank, let somebody else get some TV time. Let Andrade get a win over somebody who's not gonna. Give Andrade some momentum.
Yeah.
Because what happens?
He got rolled up by Ali.
Yeah, a roll up by Ali. And the audience was dead.
Yeah.
And of course, R-Truth with a cheap-ass wig looking like cheap-ass Carmella.
Yeah, Carmella tried to give him a bra.
Yes, and it wasn't even hers. It was way too big for her.
Well, it clearly wasn't hers.
Yeah, it was probably Charlotte's.
It was like a comical bra.
Yeah, it was.
Like, if R-Truth would have worn that, it would have just been hanging there.
And then we got Carmella versus Mandy Rose, which the bell rings. And really, all Mandy does is buy time until everyone comes out chasing R-Truth. And then the bell rings for the end of the match, and I don't know why. Because
everyone ran into the ring.
They went in the ring, but they got out of the ring.
Yeah.
How many times have we seen people get in and out of the ring in front of the referee without touching anybody, and the match goes on?
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of confused on that.
Right.
Let's see here. I just noticed Graves got a haircut. Don't know when that happened. Let's see here. Kofi and Sammy, which is where Ziggler comes into play.
All right, yeah. So, Big E came back on this show, right?
Which was probably good to see after 6 weeks.
Yeah, after 6 weeks of sitting at home, lighting the Twitter world on fire.
Hitting on Becky's mom.
Yeah. All sorts of things.
Yeah. It's just good to see he's up and going. He's making progress.
Yeah, right. And it is... And, he said that he wouldn't be back until 2021, so this is a magnificent timetable.
He's way ahead of schedule.
Yeah, and, I mean, I guess that's what it... Like, Billy Graham was right. He is a layer.
A layer.
I'll let everyone else Google that. But so, Big E, I guess the gimmick was that somebody attacked him and he re-injured himself.
Yeah.
And so Xavier Woods is taking care of him, and he tells Kofi to go on and have your match.
Yeah.
And so Dolph Ziggler returns and beats the hell out of Kofi.
Before this, let it be known that commentators say that Xavier Woods went to the local medical facility.
Yes, the local medical facility.
And wherever Sami Zayn's at. Or going to be.
Yeah. So Ziggler comes out. He brutally attacks Kofi. And at
the time, I wrote, one hell of a beating by Ziggler. Just not sure I understand why.
Yeah, and that would they didn't leave us. No, normally you would do something like this, and then you'd get the explanation the next week.
But we got one.
And this time, Ziggler just comes back out and explains why he did it.
Yeah.
And essentially all jealousy.
Yeah. It should have been him.
And I can understand it from his point of view because really, like, for his whole time in WWE, he won the world title at one time, but for his whole time, he has been Kofi Kingston.
But how many one-on-one title opportunities has he had?
Yeah, he's been up there.
He's had a chance at several.
But, he's been in that same category.
Yeah.
As, just trying to break through the glass ceiling.
But in a way he has. He held the belt, so he broke through.
Yeah, but, he was never...
Been a long time ago.
Yeah, and he was never pushed, even when he had the title. So,
I do see his jealousy.
And
it should have been him. Fine, I get it. You're jealous. It wasn't you. Guess what?
And it was a really good promo by Dolph, and he was even having tears in his eyes cutting this promo.
He put the olive oil under his eyes right there, makes him cry.
Yeah, but I'll go back to that. Like, Dolph Ziggler doesn't get me excited for a match at this point. He's been beaten too many times, and even though he's been gone for a while,
well, not even beaten too many times. It's just the fact that every match of his is the same. You look at almost all of his matches. In repetition, all of his moves. Here's going to be this move, then this move, then this move, then this move. It's all the same.
And then he'll flop around like a fish.
Then he'll flop around, grab his neck.
Yeah.
Just like, Ziggler, just like Rollins and his knee.
Mm-hmm.
He'll grab his neck after every move. Oh, my neck, my neck. But watch this. I'm going to land on my neck and do it again.
Yeah.
So he's stale.
Yeah, even after being gone this long. And
I did miss him because I did enjoy watching him back in the day.
It's like
I was just hoping he'd come back with something.
This is another old reliable though. That we don't want to really push anyone else, but we need a match for Kofi, so let's bring Dolph back.
But
with how many other people could we put in here that need the experience in a high-profile match?
How many other wrestlers are on the roster that've been there 10 plus years and have never had a title shot?
Not many.
That you can think of.
Not many.
There's not many there at all that's been there that long anymore.
Zack Ryder, maybe.
Yeah, okay, maybe Zack Ryder. I don't know if I don't think he's had a world title shot.
Not that I can think of.
But he's content where he's at, in a way.
Sin Cara. That probably hasn't quite been 10 years.
I don't know. But he's not even worthy of it.
Titus O'Neil.
Again, since he split up from Darren Young, not worthy.
Well, no, he never was of that stature.
No. So, you've got Kofi Kingston's been there 11 years. Ziggler's been there roughly 12 years. He's been there a while.
Yeah.
Pretty much, they're the exact same, pretty much. Their moves, they're not their moves, but their matches, if they're on, they're on. If they're off, they suck.
Mm-hmm.
And even Kofi, I love Kofi, but his matches are the same, in a way. This move, this move, this move, this move, end.
Yeah.
There's no variation. The only variation is what finisher is Kofi going to use, SOS or Trouble in Paradise.
Yeah, that comes down to having a good foil to work under, like Daniel Bryan at the Mania match. Like, if you pair him with the right people.
Well, then it's just training. If you don't learn new moves, you can't do new moves.
Well, you don't have to do new moves.
You don't have to, but is it really that difficult to learn one or two new moves once in a while?
Well, you can. There's plenty of other moves that I'm sure that plenty of people know how to do, but
yeah, but they don't get done.
It's just like the move shouldn't be the focal point, though. It should be the story.
Well, it has to be the focal point because there are no stories.
That's right. The moves are just there to enhance the story and play off of that. And
10 years ago, I'd say you're right. It's just the way the stories are now. There is no story.
Yeah.
Every week is a different story, and you're down to the moves.
Yeah,
That's why people have to keep jumping off the top rope and killing themselves.
Yeah.
Because that's all people are going to remember.
No, I definitely agree.
So, I don't know. It just, to me, Ziggler and Kofi, to me, are a lot of like the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ziggler had a title reign 15 years ago, but nothing since.
I also want to point out that in this time, that Dolph Ziggler is getting a world title match in 2019. That have we even seen Buddy Murphy on SmackDown yet?
I don't think so.
And
where's he been since WrestleMania? Licking his wounds?
He's supposed to have been on SmackDown,
maybe on paper,
but he hasn't showed up.
No, he's got anxiety issues from losing his title.
That's it.
At least that's excusable.
Yeah, and you have Aleister Black, who is
he just got
cutting promos on the Titantron.
Is he injured or no?
I didn't think he was.
It's just weird why they're not using him at all, except for these stupid ass promos.
Yeah, because they don't have any plans, because they planned on keeping him and Ricochet on Raw.
So and team him up with Ali. Or not Ali. Ali's on SmackDown. Team him up with somebody on Raw. It's not that difficult.
No, but Aleister's on SmackDown.
Yeah. Oh, Aleister is?
Yeah.
That was Raw.
No, Ricochet's on Raw.
Okay, well, team him up with Ali. Why not? Ali and Ricochet is pretty much the same fucking thing.
Then that becomes quite apparent that, he lost this person. We'll just give him this person.
And it's not apparent that we've got Kairi Sane and Asuka together?
Yeah.
I mean, which, speaking of, where were they at?
They were thinking of a new team name.
They took the pay-per-view off, too. Where the hell were they during the pay-per-view?
Yeah, this women's tag division is a real smash hit, isn't it?
Well, it kind of upsets me because, again...
There's like 3 teams.
Well, not just that, but besides the Money in the Bank ladder match, Becky is the only women's match is with Becky.
Yeah.
Why? We have more than... I mean, I understand she's got both titles.
Because we don't know how to do storylines that don't involve titles.
Apparently. Well, why not just have a 25 on 25 tag match?
Just to get everyone booked.
Everybody. Men, women, referees. I don't give a damn if you got a kid in the audience. Let's bring them up. Might as well. It'd be something different. I mean, for real. At least when Strowman won the tag titles with Nicholas, it was just different.
I would argue that was the tipping point for Braun Strowman's push.
I'm not saying it wasn't. Because it was. But...
Well, really, the tipping point was when they turned him heel just to feed him to Roman.
Yeah, that was just bullshit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know. These stories make no sense. The way they play it out in the ring makes no sense. It's not, let's go tell a story out here.
Well, that's the deal, is that, like, that's why I feel bad for the performers, is that their whole thing is, like, they feed on what is given to them as far as storyline. And what their storyline is affects what they're able to do in the ring, really, because you're telling a story in the ring. And if you don't have a story to tell, then you're just doing moves. And that's all that's left.
And that's all we get right nowadays. Because the stories are so shitty, all you have are a bunch of moves. Which is what we get. That's why we get stupid multi-person matches, because the stories don't mean nothing. I mean, that's why they do all these stupid matches, like the teaming up Lacey and Charlotte against Bayley and Becky. There's no point to that.
Yeah.
It's 2 Raw people against 2 SmackDown people. Who cares?
It was Becky beat Lacey and Bayley beat Charlotte.
Well, and I get that. But guess what? We just saw individual matches. We don't need to see them team up.
Yeah.
You know, it's just... I understand they're trying to do their best, and I'm going to say it, Vince McMahon probably screws most of it up. Not all of it, most of it.
Yeah.
His finger is the last one that touches everything.
Yep. So
it's his yes or no that you have to get, but until he's out of the picture, I don't think anything's going to happen good. And I can actually see Fox pulling their their deal.
It could happen. But we'll see. I mean, if we know anything from Vince McMahon in the past, is that he does his best
To screw the customer.
when his back is against the wall, is what I was going to say.
Oh. I like mine better.
Yeah, but when WCW was starting to take over in the Monday Night Wars is when things got better in WWF. They got they got a star in Stone Cold and a star in The Rock, and maybe that's more luck than anything.
But then you had Triple H and Shawn Michaels, invading as DX, invading WCW, part of the Monday Night Wars.
Well, that was a minor part to me.
But that's one of the most memorable moments of the Wars.
Yeah,
Is that one scene of them riding on that Jeep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one small part, but is the most memorable.
Yeah. Well, it's what they play back the most.
Well, yeah. But really, to me, it almost stands out the most, except for, like, the milk truck with Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
But if they went back to a lot of that stuff, the show might be better. I understand they can't do everything like that because of, the way the world is nowadays.
Yeah.
But they can bring some of that back and do some of it that way and make it at least appealing for people.
Yeah, I think it needs to. There's just nothing fresh anymore, and
No.
I think it's more a deal of needing to do something different than trying to recreate something else.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to take something from 15 plus years ago and try and use it today. Just come up with something new.
Yeah.
And don't just keep hiring people to put them on a shelf. Use them or let them move on with their lives. I mean, I want to see some of the people they have on the shelf. They've got a bunch. I'd like to see some.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to spend my money to go see a live show or another pay-per-view or even buy a month on the network if I can't see people. I'm going to see the same thing tonight that I saw last night that I'm going to see next week. It's all the same people. All the same matches, pretty much. Yeah, I'm done with WWE. They can kiss my ass for now. We still got one more match. Or a couple more.
Do we?
Lacey, Charlotte, Bayley, and Becky. I actually did like the team of Charlotte and Lacey.
Yeah.
I actually did like how they teamed up and the way they worked together.
All right. Don't remember it.
Maybe, possible tag champs in the future. Just the way they worked together on that one match.
Nah, yeah. Charlotte ain't settling for no tag titles.
It's just a thought. Just a thought. Bayley beats Flair with a roll-up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you didn't know. That's right. Yeah, she beat Flair with a roll-up.
Okay.
Roman versus Elias. Despite Shane winning or interfering several times, Roman wins, and then a beat down by Shane for a minute, and then the big dog comes back, and they take off running. Like you never saw that coming.
Ooh ah.
That's like always sounded like hour 7 of WrestleMania. Ooh ah. It was more like, ooh, my back. Oh, that feels good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was wrestling. That was a shitty wrestling week.
So what are we gonna do next week?
Monday Night Wars.
All right.
And then we'll touch on
AEW and the Double or Nothing show.
Yeah.
And we might do a full review on that. We'll see.
I mean, if you want to do a Raw and a SmackDown, I'm not going to stop you, but honestly, I'm not going to watch.
All right.
There's just no point. Because you know what next week is? The go-home show for Jeddah.
Yeah, I forgot that was even this soon.
Next week ain't going to be shit anyway because they're not going to do anything until Jeddah. It's going to be a bunch of promos, a bunch of in-ring interviews and backstage interviews and crap.
Well,
I'll watch Jeddah just so I can see Undertaker and Goldberg for the first time. And then I may not watch the rest.
So I guess we'll be back with something next week.
We'll be back with something. Just don't know what yet.
Yeah, we'll both watch the Double or Nothing show. We still have until October until AEW starts doing regular TV.
Oh yeah,
so
we got plenty of time till then, but
expect some retro content, some Monday Night War stuff.
And it might actually make people understand some more of what we're talking about if they can understand the wars. Because a lot of what we talk about goes back to that time.
Yeah.
And it started at that time.
I mean, for me, it's stuff even before that. Just like simple storytelling.
Yeah.
Just, to me, like the 80s is where I look to for just the purest, simple wrestling, a story, and it plays out over time, and the good guy wins.
See, 1992, Charlotte, Ric Flair against Ricky Steamboat. I was there. I saw it. House show. Nothing fancy, but it was an ongoing storyline from like 3 years.
Yeah, they had the famous 3 matches.
Yeah. But it's, I mean, some of the best matches you'll ever see.
Yeah.
But again, that's how it's told. And plus the characters meant something.
Yes.
Like the Dragon Steamboat came out in a dragon costume, breathed fire. He was a character. He wasn't just a person with a cool name.
Yeah.
Ric Flair, everybody knows Ric Flair. He's styling and profiling. I mean, that is his gimmick. It hasn't changed.
It's his life.
Yeah, it has not changed, and it never will, and that's fine. It doesn't need to.
Yeah.
But you had 2 over-the-top characters going at it, telling a good story. Fast forward 15, 20 years. You've got crappy people with good ability telling crappy stories. It means nothing to the people watching at home.
Yeah.
Because you know what? They're going to see the same thing next week, just in a different form.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So, yeah, I'm taking a break from Raw, or from WWE.
Current day WWE.
Well, until it changes, which may never happen. Which is fine, because I got AEW coming.
Yeah. We'll put
And it sure can't be no worse than WWE.
Yeah. We'll put some stock in there, then hopefully just find something to be more positive about.
Now, there still might be a show next week.
No, there will be a show next week.
On Raw and SmackDown, but I don't know if you'll do it or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I might try to...
Next week's like the one week you really don't need to, because nothing happened this week, really. And Jeddah's next Friday. So nothing's going to happen on Monday or Tuesday because Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I'll try to do some solo stuff, and this way we can get out more content.
Yeah, that too.
And
maybe we can get beyond the bitching and ranting about WWE.
Yeah.
Which will take a while.
I'm sure there may be people here just thinking that we're being too negative.
And they might. And that's very true. But they also probably haven't watched as much as I have, or as many decades as I have. They haven't seen the changes come that I have. And maybe they have and they don't care. Maybe they're entertained by just stupid shit on TV. If that entertains you, more power to you. My storytelling needs to be a storytelling.
Yeah. And that's all everything is in the end of the day is just our opinion.
Yeah, it's just our opinion. That's why we don't have any listeners.
Yeah. They've all ran away by now.
I think so. We scared them off.
Yeah. But until next week, whatever we're going to do next week, we'll see.
Yeah, so I guess we will wrestle you later.